What that boy used to say? You're now. What was my Ice Cube say? Listening to this phonograph record at high volumes. I need to find all those tags, y'all. Damn, son, where did you find this channel? With they sound Smyth-EL, the greatest grandson of Prester John Smith, the king of Jerusalem and Israel, via North America. How you guys doing today? On this lovely Thursday, Vienna's. Is it Venus? Or is it Venus? Is it Jupiter? Or is it Venus? Is it father? Or is it daughter? Whichever day it is, it's the 29th allegedly of January, which gives us 2 more days of the most eventful January I've had in the longest time of my life. Thank you guys for rocking with me. Shout out to your brother Composure Slim. I'm finally loading up in here. How you doing, sister? The brother sending E is in the building. What a time to be alive. Shout out to the sisters out here. Like I said, all the girls talk to me out here. It's really different. Only if they're black, though. But I don't know. I don't know. Just been thinking about what I've been thinking about, what I've been talking about, what I've been doing videos about, and how it stacks up. And like, it probably don't even take that long to show, convince, or help people understand what happened there. I think the real issue is that we live in real time, and because we live in real time, a lot of this stuff isn't useful to people in the modality of life they're living. Like how that infamous quote that I get from other things is like, well, what are we gonna do about it? Or, you know, how's that gonna help me pay my rent tomorrow? Or even worse, yeah, man, that's cool, but where the bitches at? Or the other one, man, life is life, man. Or the other one, man, you know, everyone's gonna have we call these canned responses in tech support. When you call Apple Care, and you call in some unsupported software or unsupported hardware device, and the old lady goes, hey, I'm calling you guys because I'm having issues with my cell phone here. All right, man, what's your name? Bonnie. Where you live, Bonnie? I'm out in Florida. All right, Bonnie, from Florida? Tell me a little bit more about what you got going on. Now, Bonnie, I'm going to take 5 minutes to express to you how it feels doesn't do it. Whether it's logging in to get a nap, turning the phone back on, you'd be surprised how many people have those problems. Or something miscellaneous that I've never heard of, and that's pretty hard to fucking do in my job back in the day. Like, all right, Bonnie, so it sounds like you can't get your contacts to load in a such and such app, and da-da-da-da-da-da. I want to try one thing with you, Bonnie. Are you able to sign into your Apple ID iCloud account and turn contacts on in the cloud? I don't have iCloud. What do you mean, Bonnie? Blah, blah, blah. And before you even realize it, you got this download of 5 minutes of soft skills and shit. And then she tells you fucking has an Android. Bonnie, this is Apple Care. Apple Care supports iPhones, Macs, and iPads. You have a goddamn Samsung, right? Like, oh, y'all don't do phone support? You meant to call AT&T, because they'll support you no matter what. You called Apple, not AT&T. So can't respond. We can help with the iPhone devices, iOS devices. If you have any of those, I'd be more than happy to help you. But no, I cannot put an Apple Care protection plan on a Samsung. So what you'll have to do is call your provider, and I'm sure they'll be more than happy to help you. Now, it's going to take me and Bonnie 5 and 10 minutes to get to the obvious before I realize it's time for a canned response. When it comes to our history, our country, the financial market, the systems, the psychic warfare operations, they call them chasms, schisms, schismatas, you can explain a lot of these things. You can even give them the word cloud, and Google and Wiki, and the books too, the treaties, the laws, the history, da-da-man, da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And then all of a sudden, you're running into that brick wall with them. their tech support. They're like, well, considering all things, I'm a Samsung. I'm an NPC. I'm a bot. I can't even do anything with that information. And I think that's going to be the big thing that you run into with people. And I want to tell you, those canned responses are perfectly normal if you've ever did tech support. You know what? It saves you. It saves you time, saves you energy, and it makes you aware of how deep in the trenches of psychology we are as a group of people. Is that doesn't matter what the truth is, man. If there is no immediate benefit or relief once the information or knowledge is given. And what that tells me, as a person who's been studying this game of sociology in our generations, is that the transactional nature of everything, from relationships to the job to even cost of living, is all very transactional, very one-sided transactional. And it's sad that people are so conditioned by that and trained by it that they treat history as transactional, heritage as transactional, birthright is transactional. And the illest shit about it is, that is the one thing that is not transactional. Birthright is not transactional. It's unalienable. And none of us, I don't think, that was raised lately has an unalienable mindset or an unalienable context for anything. Everything. Even with the females. Like, oh, she's gonna cost me a fee, isn't she? Like, everything is transatlantic slave trade, transacting slaves for labor for harvest for money for stupid houses and a land that didn't have anything. You know, I was like, why do you need millions of dollars, nigga? You just moved to a forest. The fuck? So, yeah. I don't even think it's the transatlantic slave trade. I think it's the transactional slave trade. Because we don't realize or appreciate, and that's the funniest shit about it, that most of those people that came to America in bondage signed up for it. Y'all be forgetting, like, to everybody else but us, like our pedigree, this was the new world. This is equivalent to Elon Musk pretending he can go to Mars, and you on a raffle, you on a lottery as a citizen of the United States. You're like, I want to go to Mars. And they tell you, like, hey, once you get to Mars, we might not be able to bring you back. But in order to go to Mars, here's the rules, here's the things. And when you get there, you're going to have to work as a community, and whatever your specialist thing is, and we're going to have to work together for our mutual survival. And you're like, oh, that's cool. I got a job anyway where I'm at. I'm going to have to clean a chimney or do some farming in the land that doesn't grow nothing anyway, to have millions of people to come to America. But sure, why not? You didn't check the terms of agreement. You didn't check the perpetual servitude clause. You didn't even know that they can transact the damn certificates and bonds that you signed up for to give you permission to be in that colony. So when they emancipate you and they transfer those bonds to the new company 30, 40, 50 years later, you're like, oh, okay, well, they're not here anymore. I guess I'll just move right down to Martian Boulevard. And they're like, nigga, you can't live on this side of town. You're like, what? I'm one of the first people here. In fact, I feel like I built Martian Boulevard. That was one of our first projects. Well, technically, you're still in servitude or indentured to the first clause in the first act. And now that we had this little civil war and politics around here, I'm just going to grandfather you in, and you can keep your jobs and stuff, but, you know, we're taking over this Mars colony, and you can't get back home. It really be that simple. Because, you know, if they touched any of my niggas back then, we would have murdered all of them. And we know that in real life. We know that the story that they taught us when I was reading it, and I was like, oh, slaves and stuff. It's like, how big are these niggas? Why would you hire a bunch of 5-foot niggas to go work in the forest if they live in sub-Saharan Africa? Remember, the United States East Coast was a forest. No one lived there. It was frozen in recent history. So, a lot of the shit that we see is older than them coming here. But it was frozen. Gotta keep that in mind. It was frozen, guys. It don't make sense to bring a bunch of Africans who are in the summer for thousands of years to a place that's frozen to do labor. That's cruel, that's unusual, and that's a cool, quick way to kill everybody you just took across that ocean that almost killed everybody. Like, the story, the science, the environment, nothing makes sense at all. But the thing that makes the least sense is, like, why are they acting like we wouldn't murder their bitch-ass grandfathers? There's no rules or laws. Like, why would the uncivilized savages that are selling each other into slavery, wars, battles, look at one white guy and be like, non-violent. So, well, which story is it? Were they captives, a prisoner of war in the Dahomey tribes? Meaning there were fighters, they were just overwhelmed. And then when it comes to one white guy, they're gonna do nothing? Like, come on, cut it out. Don't talk to me. Yeah, I don't even know why Africans let them get away with that. But if you go over there to Africa and ask them about that, they're like, we don't even know what you're talking about. They don't teach us slave trade in our schools. Wow, a whole transatlantic slave trade centered around Africa, and no one in Africa learns about it. But an Indian in the United States has to learn about it for the sake of black people? Weird. That little 360 deal right there that we don't understand just yet. I understand it, but hopefully you'll understand it next. The 360 deal of what you learn in school is simply a consequence of being a United States citizen. And I don't think we appreciate that. Our people haven't been able to separate the United States from America, from North America, from each of these estates and territories. Like, each of those are a different dimension in a vertical pyramid. So when you sign up for the United States Citizenship Program, you also signed up for federal education. Schismata operations led by Jewish Zionists and their white associates. And they're telling you this story about whatever happened as a way of justifying their purposefulness and usefulness of being in charge of you as you're the citizen. They're not teaching you your history. They're not teaching you Indian American history. They're not even teaching you what's African history. Africa's a continent. Like, which country is it? Which nationalities are the people are you doing business with? And why those nationalities are people to do all this stuff and not the other ones actually build things? Doesn't make sense to me, but we'll let them have it. And you see what I'm saying? So they give you this canned response about how do we have a colony in an Indian red territory with black people who have amnesia and white people who don't know where they come from. But the status is set it vertically, or if you're black, you're down here. And if you're white, chances, opportunities can get you there. There's like this invisible line that black never crosses. And then you're here now in the 20s, going to school with the kids of those people, and you're like, why are things so fucking locked down and crazy in my neighborhoods? And then you go to school and they say, well, because your skin is dark, a little Dred Scott, a little Boston Tea Party, a little Indian War, a little Civil War, a little antebellum slavery jig that never happened. This is a French word. The United States is fucking French. So you're like, let them have it. Well, I'm black, I guess I'm African. And I guess that's how Africans got here. These mean, evil white people blaming it on white Jesus. And white Jesus don't exist. And you don't question that. You don't question that. You end up fighting the institutions and the ideologies of everyone who went to school as a citizen. So you're talking about kingdom, church, nationalities, countries, royals, bloodlines, tribes, and traditions. But you're using the filter of the General Board of Education funded by the United States federal government for its citizens. In order for you to be a United States citizen, you have to detach yourself from your nation. And then if you're a royal from another nation, you have to denounce your privileges from being a royal. This is called the Titles of Nobility Act, federal government, United States. Meaning if you want to play with us and use our US dollar and the transactions that it awards you with all these citizens and services and sex and everything, well, this is the agreement. This is the best country on earth, isn't it? Pledge your allegiance, don't you? You used to. And the Constitution, what a hell of a thing, right? Because you gotta think about it. People don't know the Constitution. People don't have a copy of the Bill of Rights. Why is the Constitution so important for a person that comes here? They don't know what the fuck that means. Because technically, if they came from a different nation, kingdom, province that's civil and organized, they would have their own treaties. And you don't get that. I know, they didn't teach us anything because we went to school for citizens. That's why college and universities abroad are kind of look different and you get a different impression of things because they don't have an incentive to keep the citizen class of the United States at a certain emotional awareness level. And that's why all y'all get fucked up in the game though. Y'all keep forgetting y'all United States citizens and y'all don't know what that means. And the people who created that brand are not going to tell you what it means. Because if you have treaties, and do, if you have a certain tribe, and do, if you have a certain religious connection in your family, and those people exist over there, and they do commerce anywhere else the West does, and do, then you would know when you come here how detrimental it would be to you to lose all of your rights as a national, as a sovereign, as a royal, as anything else that's above a corporation. If you understand that the United States is a corporation and everything else is a nation, then a person coming from a nation dropping down to a corporation and then indenturing themselves as a citizen of a corporation, what does that mean? The people who taught you are citizens indentured to the corporation. The people you see on TV get paid paychecks and W-2 forms. All right, federal taxes with the Federal Reserve, which is not part of your federal government, with the IRS in Puerto Rico, not part of the United States, and all these other things. And you're like, oh, everyone's doing it. Everyone's doing it. Everyone's doing it. This is just the way it is, and this is the best country in the world. Why would I think there's a higher status of fairness and laws and treaties and things that I could be privy to? And what could those things be? I mean, look where we are, man. Airplanes, buses, trains, oh my, like, I don't even want to worry about what the other benefits could be, because, I mean, where's that at anyway? I haven't been anywhere ever in human history. Exactly. You're landlocked. And that's why. Y'all can't even freely explore America. Y'all can't go to the top of Canada and the bottom of South America. It's all America, ain't it? You notice how America is all the words and everything else is a prefix? Right. So you're isolated into a federal jurisdiction. And you're a United States citizen, so what happens? If you're a United States citizen in federal jurisdiction, when you cross at a border and they check you, what are they looking for? Federal citizen identification. Why? Because everyone knows you're not from here. How does ICE know who to grab up? ICE can grab up any United States citizen, because United States citizen means you're not from here. Lord have mercy. The United States is not from here. The United States is a corporation. It can't be from something. You know what I'm saying? It's not born here. You know what I'm saying? It doesn't have parents. The United States isn't from anywhere. When you say something is Africa, it's from a king, an emperor, Yahrik, king of Moors, Ethiopians, long time ago. One of Sheba's brothers or something like that, or dad even. So Africa, under the dominion of Ethiops, Yahrik in his memory. It's named after a person. It comes from somewhere. Because the word, the language, the people, the tribes that register that are his damn grandchildren. You do the same thing in modern Europe, although the whole moon is Europe, but just that little subset right there where the Anglo-Saxons are. They name it after one of their giants, or goddesses or angels. Europa. It comes from somewhere. These are the Europeans because these are Europa's grandchildren. Brasilia. I'm here in Nevada. Carolina. Charlotta. Florida. Georgiana. Alabama. Alamo. And you'll start to understand what's coming on. These places don't exist without people. People are adding a layer over a moon or a planet that wasn't subdivided by nothing but people. So, when you come to the Belgian Conference of the United States, and they're subdividing the landmass into 3 equal sections, and you find yourself in the middle, you only find yourself in the middle of an Indian territory if what? You're a foreigner. Because you have no starting point here. None of these names, none of these people are your ancestors. Right? So if you're still here for some reason, what does that mean? Exactly. So you're in landlocked servitude disguised as memberships and benefits with an illegal, tyrannical, genocidal, stupid, pedophilic, you just go down the list, foreigners and immigrants running a corporation full of fraud. And you're indentured as a citizen to that the whole time it's been here. It's never been fair. So when people start going, I want to do something for my country. I want to my people, da 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 da. It's weird. We're the only people that treat citizen and memberships as our people. And we carry that culture into corporations. Like your work group or your people you use pod with. This is my crew. This is my team. We win these prizes. We get these bonuses. But as soon as you're fired, you ain't get no cards tomorrow. Same thing with United States citizenship. If a motherfucker get deported and stay, he ain't, you know what I'm saying? He ain't sending you Christmas cards and sending you gifts. It was like he was never here. It'd be like it's a complete stranger. You don't see nobody in our community. And when the birthdays come, like, man, shout out to my homie Iswaldo, man. It's his birthday today. He got jammed up by ICE like 20 years ago, bro. Hopefully, dude is good. Iswaldo don't even add you on Instagram. And he got an Instagram. And then this, you've seen it in real time. Ellis Island. All right, let's pour in all these people. For some reason. We don't need them. Let's make them citizens. Let's let them occupy these population collapses and get the ball moving, get the commerce going. Where the United States Corporation of Pedophiles gets all the profit. It's not a country. It's not a corporation. It's a handful of people. And their middleman is Congress to you. They're all legal immigrants too. None of their parents are from this land. So effectively what you actually have, if you understand anything about math or science about the United States is Amazon. And its products and services is based on human capital. So Amazon could put a factory in territories, claim eminent domain, bring its immigrants in, and build communities to support it. And then you'll make the mistake that because you live on Amazon East, that somehow the land that Amazon East is on gives you privileges to go digging, going around mountains, swimming in lakes, talking to the indigenous people in the other kind of way, because that kind of shit don't fly in the Amazon factory. Well, the indigenous don't need the job. They don't need an Amazon factory, so they wouldn't have those rules. But clashes happen because you know how people and fucking and drugs and money is. And then you just let that happen. And then the Amazon crews start beating Indians. Eminent domain. They'll disguise it. They'll false flag it. Newspapers, you've seen it. This is Wilmington. These are the riots. These are all those things. Now, I need you to keep in mind, like these great fires and these riots and these things happened after immigration of foreign immigrants and illegals called white people. They're running from their country because they're illegal. Criminals. Ain't shit people. Not related to royals, nobles, or bloodline. Or they wouldn't have to leave their country, especially not in the 1900s, right? But they came, they brought their funky ass here. And then they worked at Amazon, North. And then they got carried away. Because Amazon North forgot something. that they can only have Amazon North here if they're paying somebody what? Tariffs, taxes, advices. Keep that right there for me, brother.
Okay.
Marks of attention, etc. So if those people die, move, get caught up, or whatever, or get kidnapped, you know how the KKK was. Now there's no chief to stand up, and thus there's no chief to pay these things to. Well, if there's no one claiming anything here, I guess we'll just keep going. And then you have intelligence agencies and police forces and all these other groups that when they see you show up trying to press the issue on it, they don't hit you through a bunch of yellow tape and bureaucracy. And then because it's been 50 years now since Amazon has been delivering to your doorstep, you might have a grandchild that made a lot of friends with foreigners, like, you know what? I want to work with my girlfriend. I want to work with my homies. Then you walk up and like, all right. Remember, your grandma and them got mad land. You only going out there where the homies are. These are the descendants of the Amazon factors that got moved here. Malfactors is what they call them if you read the America's book. That means they're prisoners. That's why this whole story is the same story. This story is about white people and the new blacks. So then you're like, well, you apply. You're the same age group. They've been sucking and fucking on indigenous women. You know they don't have pics. And you're like, you kind of look like them. So you walk in and you fill out for an application. Remember, just right down the street from your grandma's house, and this land that it's on, used to be a really big bazaar or pavilion for your people about 100 years ago. So you know the vibes. So you apply an interviewer from Amazon North America, from wherever the fuck it's from. And this lady obviously ain't your grandma or your auntie, because she would know you already, and you wouldn't be going through this stupid fucking process, right? And she goes, Dred Scott. That's one of the royal names. Oh, we can't hire you. What do you mean you can't hire me? You're hiring everybody. You're hiring people that ain't even from here. What do you mean you can't hire me? You're on my grandfather's land. Well, the treaties that we have with your grandfather states that we cannot have any domicile or dominion over his clan, his family. It's in the treaty. You're like, what are you talking about? My granddad never taught me that. Well, exactly, because your granddaddy's not a fucking idiot. You're a kid. Your granddaddy would never work for these assholes. They're working for him. And it may be your auntie, maybe your uncle, maybe somebody didn't inform you when granddad died that they're actually supposed to be paying you, irregardless if you sign in or not. And you go, well, fuck this shit. You talk to your homies and your friends, all the new niggas, and all the niggas from somewhere else. I'm like, man, this shit's fucked up. Like, we heard about this over there, like 100 miles away. Like, and for you, it's a different territory, but, you know, it's where your family stays. It's like, they just don't want you to be able to do the things that we can do, and that's fucked up, man. Because this is where you from, man. So they, you know how these liberals and Democrats are. They rile you up. You go back home, talk to your mama and them, and they you know how women are. They're like, yeah, honey, but it's not really, you know what I'm saying? I get it. Your girlfriend there, your best friend's there. You don't want to be feel left out, because they gone 8-10 hours a day. What you doing? Fishing, hunting. You already mastered that, so it's not like you're stimulated. You actually want to do something. You want to help. You want to help your niggas out. You want to help them build their house. Fuck this shit. Hey, yo, let's make this shit shake. How can I do this? Well, there is a technicality in the treaty that if you end up committing a crime that's considered whatever, murder, blah, 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 then we can hold you and process these things. And then, you know, bring a jury of the peers in, blah, 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 blah. But that's under civics. So maybe open-ended, unratified, since your grandfather's not here to ratify it, there is no electoral college, and the real Congressman C. Medea, maybe we can just write it here for your families that you can become a civil rights servant unratified in order for us to let you in. You're like, what does that mean? We got to give you a straw man identity. Give you some paperwork. So, you know, make sure the checks and balances going through. We can pay you this bullshit ass tender we got, and you know how it go. You can take the trains and stuff that we're building on our federal highways and federal rails somehow. And yeah, that's one way to do it. If you sign a 360 deal with us and sign your intellectual property away from what you're doing in our factory, and you promise not to, you know, hold this or use this against us, then shit, fuck it. You still have your privileges and rights as an indigenous, as a royal, as a noble, as a chief, or as an Indian. You just understand that in these territories that we're doing our business, that you can't then work in this factory and start firing and hiring people and then, changing the layout of things because we know your granddad is. Meaning you can't come in here acting like the king that you are. You don't have to be Dred Scott. You a little nigga. You ain't not even thinking like this will last forever. Because once you get bag the bitch for real good and you do all the traveling and hang out with the homies and they get partnered up, you're going to bring them right back to your land, 1 million acres. So your brain isn't thinking like a slave or indentured servant or a foreign immigrant who knows that as soon as this job opportunity is over or as soon as Amazon is closed, your ass is stranded. And you gotta remember, there's a lot of Indians out here that never fucking went to Amazon and they land to begin with. So that's why they stay tight. That's why they have militias. That's why they have rails, guarded, cabooses with security on them. That's because we decided to do this shit anyway. Frack, fuck up the water, fuck up the environment, and cut through so many other lands and territories. They ain't got shit to do with what we doing. But you know how white people are. You give them an inch, they take a mile. And now that your own people are helping them doing it because they don't see the whole play. They don't take the treaty seriously. They don't take who they are seriously enough to go back and say, wait a minute, who set up this organization 75 years ago? And which of my ancestors set it up with? All right. Let me go find out. Let me see what's going on for it. Where's the board, guys? Who are these people that are, doing these things? Because I've been working at Amazon for a while, and I noticed they're treating everyone around here real fucked up, man. And I'm not even tripping on the job. I'm tripping on the fact that our people don't treat people like that. You hearing stories, this getting high in the fucking bathrooms. You're like, this, my dad, on word to Muhammad, my dad wouldn't even allow this. Like, why would we do business like this? Then you ask them, like, all right, so what the fuck going on? Like, now you gotta put your chief feather back in and investigate some shit. What do they tell you? Well, this corporation is registered in London, and the ambassadors or whoever, they'll be here by Monday, but right now they're at the north, and that takes about 3 weeks or so by horseback. So as long as they don't catch the flu or any of those things, or die, or horse, or setback, we don't have cell phones, we don't have none of these things, but when and if they show up soon, we'll go ahead and review these things, you know what I'm saying? A, B, C, D, E, F, G. 100 years go by, then 150 years go by, and then what end up happening is you and your goofy ass Indians is having these hybrid kids who don't have, through Amazon, any special privileges, but through grandma's house, nativity, the mother, they would. So you raise them a certain. Then you have the other mixes of immigrants and kids, because they're bringing everybody here who want to be here. And they're a totally different hue. You might call them colored people. And they might look like some of your cousins for real. You know how Puerto Ricans are and Dominicans, but they're not. So it becomes very unclear by your second generation, third generation, like, which one of us is not? And when you mean my niggas can't come live on here, like, this is my great-grandfather's home. They can fucking live here. They cool with me. And they're like, what the fuck going on? Why? We all the same, nigga. We're all colored people now. Why can't we? There's these processes, these laws, there's these treaties. We're in a war right now. And, we want to make sure that everyone's interest is protected and provided for. And if things go left or go right, we don't want to have one of those rebellions that we just did with 2 weeks ago. You heard about it, right? Yeah, my best friend Mike got killed, man. He was just pulling up on a bitch. He wasn't even tripping for it. Yeah, I know. So now we got to start protecting things. And then you and your homies from all over the fucking place, y'all form your own fucking gang, your own militia. And I'm leasing the homies out with all kind of new feathers. I was like, I ain't going to put them on the owl. I ain't going to put them on the falcon. But you know what? Since these other birds just fucking migrated, we gonna wear these red feathers. It's because what we're saying is we're united under one blood, no matter what year it is. And if anyone pushes P on these issues over here, we all gonna work together. That works. That works until 1868. 1868, you have some new challengers. Very similar corporations: Amazon East, Amazon West, Amazon China, Amazon India, Amazon the islands, Amazon Brazil. They heard about it. They heard that y'all got something interesting popping up here. They want to see for themselves. But other foreign interests that got beefs that you have nothing to do about. You've only been here and lived here your whole human existence for at least 2,000 years in a row. You don't know what the fuck the nigga that looked like you did before he got to you, to those people down there. You heard he was transferred, but you didn't hear why he was transferred. Because his mom and dad was the big dogs on that land, and instead of having him stuck, having to face trial, and even worse, they said, fuck it, we'll send him to another land. And that's your man's pots and pans. But the people he did, or the girl he violated, or the guy's thing he stole, or the boat he burned down for whatever good reason, whether it was opium or whiskey for that season, they're looking for him. Now you gotta take that and spread it across 13 northern colonies, and take that and spread it across 13 southern colonies of different mixes and variations of niggas who ain't your niggas, who got problems with niggas where they come from. And mind you, you haven't been to where they come from yet. You've just heard about a story. By the time you talk to your captains, your admirals, they usually going the other way. Like, we ain't fucking with no fucking Amazon Center HQ, nigga. Like, Granddad and other ones, they came from there 500 years ago because motherfuckers was gay and dying of AIDS and famines and shit, nigga. They ain't going back over there, nigga. Them motherfuckers was eating people. Hell no, we ain't going back there. It's been 200 years since any of us. But the other brothers are still trading with Japan and all that shit on the west side. Maybe when they come back on Sabbath or on the year of Jubilees, maybe you can hitch a ride with them and then, you know, travel through the Silk Road and see for yourself. Man, nigga, that shit gonna take 2 to 5 years before you even get a fucking answer about what the fuck's going on in real time. So by the time you find out that all this shit's a lie and you go back to where your homies and his mama or his uncle said they was and where it was and what it is and what it isn't, you start to know something totally different. Like, yo, this shit look just like, this look like our temple city. Holy shit. Them niggas was living here? Why the fuck they live with us for? We don't even live in those cities no more. Goddamn, but this shit nice. Who are these white people? Oh, that's Amazon HQ. No, I understand. I'm in the right place. But who are these white people? I've never seen white people before. What the fuck are these people? And why do they live in lands that look identical to ours? And where my nigga grandma house at? He said something on Kent Road, A, B, C, D, E, F, G. Blah, 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 blah. They say he came from the port. Wait a minute, what the fuck are they talking about? It sounded like America. They said from the port of Africa. Where's Africa out here, y'all? Like, oh, homie, you the wrong way. You gotta take a ferry across Andalusia and go down to Mauritania, Morocco. The port of Africa is somewhere there. Because that's on the African continent as of this time in the 1800s. And you go, okay, you stay around, man. You stay around for a while. You have a bunch of Indians staying around for a while in Europe. You have a bunch of Indians staying around for a while in Liberia, which you would reach from the north. By the time you get down there and find out what they've been doing for 200 years, you're like, whoa, this is wild. And you're like, yo, there's a lot of people coming to that territory, blah, blah. And mind you, got language issues and shit like that, but you've seen niggas that look like you that kind of understand the derivative of Hebrew or Spanish. Like, yo, I'm trying to look for this, that. You know, the people that come in, you know, it's a new world. How you doing? You see the feathers, nigga? Like, yeah, same. But no one's been here in a while. There's been a lot of wars here. Yeah, there's been wars here since like 1700s, man. We're just now putting this shit back together for real, bro. Yeah, they sent us here about like 50 years ago from the south, so we're just trying to recover what we can recover and get shit popping again. You know, this used to be one of our biggest trade routes about 400 years ago. And we ain't even get all the way interior yet, so we just trying to, you know, whatever. And they're like, yo, did you know there's white people right above here? White people? What's white people? That ain't nothing. Anyway, I want to figure this out. So somehow or another, your ass backtrack. Your navigator homies, Asiatics, take your ass back home. And you go look for your homies and shit. I'm like, yo, I went back to the ports and everything, man. I've been gone for 2 years now, and I don't know what happened, man. What I heard was like there was a war, people moved, the babies were rushed over here. I heard something about Italia and Tuscarora. That sounds like Ohio, but that's over there. But you understand what I'm saying? Like, I think something's wrong. And by the time you think you fucking think that something's wrong, as soon as your boat get back for you to tell everybody that something's wrong, there's a whole fucking armada going up to the Gulf, my nigga, full of mamalukes, faggots, eunuchs, suave, Cindy, anyone you can imagine. I think the rest you can learn in U.S. history. So now you're landlocked in your homeland under occupied captivity. Civil War, 1868. That wasn't the end of slavery. That was the beginning of it. Wake your dumb ass up, Indian. To God be the glory. Shout out to the chat. Dude Price, I've never seen a palm tree in my life. KPCM, hello from Ireland, bro. How you doing? Sizzle 560, what's going on, man? Jacob Lord says, oh, you're a hood kid. I'm a direct descendant of Jesus. And he was a hood kid, so yes. Shout out to Ruthie. How you doing? JPX. Jonathan L says, peace, gang. I was just replay gang the other one in past lights. The last part of last night's stream, squad. T, BFB 13, salute to you in the Royal Tribe. But what did God say? JPX, Mr. Now, Georgie Porgy, how you doing, brother? Sharon Art, TBFB 13. Same story. Same story. It's always the same story. So yeah, we're at that point in the story where it's like people are trying to figure out like which boat they were on, which Amazon they worked for, and which territory and which Amazon your grandma from, and then like trying to reverse engineer all those pieces with all the new branches, with all the foreign leaves, and like, you know, isolate it to like remedy of the injury, if you will. And then you have a problem. You go back in time to find the initial injury and fuckery, but you're in a modern time and there's a whole new pyramid built on top of that. And the people who are alive now at the top of that pyramid, they weren't here when this started either. So they're picking up after the invasion. They're picking up after the Civil War gave them civics. They are picking up after black people and African Americans fought to let anybody be here permanently. Not their citizenship, their citizenship that allowed them to live in your backyard under federal eminent domain. And that's why they parcel everything the way they do. When you get your mortgages, you see like the lines they have and lot this, lot that, lot that. That's not their land. That ain't got shit to do with the map. That has everything to do with the domain that the federal government using the local incorporated territories in order to do business as they've been doing. And a lot of business is sexual, genetic, material, rare earth minerals, time, energy, psychic, knowledge, recovery, theft, grave robbers. You know the story. They need time. They need to keep you busy so they can start snooping right behind you. And then they got to make your kids docile and act like you're all friends. It's all loving. So when they find you violating some shit, just because they might actually know something, because all of us ain't fucking lost and all of us ain't fucking stupid. Some of us have dreams and can tell your intentions and read your mind too. We might fucking kill your ass. So they got to keep you. And then by the time they start developing better technology, surveillance, and weapons on your territory with your resources, and you see like one or two people that kind of look like you there, you're like, oh, we're all right, you know, we have the weapons together. If anyone comes here again like they did in the 1860s, we good. And the whole time, like, no, you're not. They didn't make those weapons for their grandma's house. Bitch ass niggas. I want y'all to wake y'all dumbasses up. Why the fuck would a bunch of people from China, India, and wherever the fuck white people come to the Americas to build a bunch of weapons to send them back home? They're making those weapons in all these stationary sites here in your territory just in case you want it back. Those warheads are aimed at you, nigga. These white boys are too stupid to have a science to send shit from here to fucking China or Russia. Or they wouldn't be fucking panicking right now in Greenland. So, you give a faggot an inch, he takes a mile. So now they start building little, you play these games on your iPad before, little turret defenses and shit like that. That's for you, India. Those police are just for you. They're the illegal operatives. I don't give a fuck what their badge says. Are they an American Indian? Then why the fuck are they a police in American Indian land? Who are they policing for? You're policing with the natives and the people in the land, or you're policing for foreign immigrant, a white faggot, pedophile, that's doing all the bullshit behind the scenes? All right then, so you know what team they on. But they on your land on that team. So now it's a hostile occupation. And every year they declare a state of emergency at the White House because that's what they're doing. The United States is illegal. It's a pirate corporation. This is not our treaty. This is not what we set up. This is not the First Continental Congress. And the letter to Sidi Muhammad demonstrably proves that as of 1778, the thing known as the United States, the way that the Moors did it, is no longer that thing. As soon as you get from King George III to Abraham Lincoln, that's a totally different thing. And that's with totally different people that kind of look like us. And then after that, they bring the guests that showed up from somewhere over there, and they bring them in. And it's like, oh, they're better at this clerical stuff in church. So they, they take over the stuff, and now they're rocking. Your people are dead, missing in action, drowned on the Titanic, and every other disaster that rhymes with that. And you go, oh, I just kind of have to wait here before I get strong enough to fucking murder everybody. Welcome to 2026. Yeah, I don't do that whole kumbaya my lord shit with these niggas. Talk about this is our country and we're gonna lose our democracy and we have to go against Trump. Amazon needs an Amazon strike because Trump removed the unions. But you, Trump, the union, and Amazon all go jump into the fucking ocean like those pigs did. I hope that shit float. Right? Like you have to understand that that's the only thing. There is no other version of fixing this injury. They literally have to die. I didn't say we have to kill them. I didn't say we have to go to war. I'm saying to fix the injury, the United States would literally have to die. And it's already dead. It's a corpse. It's an entity. So I'm saying the people that keep funding it and figuring it out and fucking with it and flying its things and regulating and sending the messages and doing the federal thing, that system, that octopus would literally have to die before we feel relief. Because its existence has injured us generations in a row, meaning it's an active status area of effect on all of your kids. That's half of our mental health issues. That's half of our instability. That's half of we can't do nothing but fuck anyway. Like half of it is that's what we call the schismata. That's the psychic energy. It's the divide and conquer of your mind versus your sensibilities. You feel like you belong here. You feel familiar about some of the things you see. If you turn off the brands and the stupid fucking color schemes they got. But then you go, but wait, I see so many other beautiful people here. People I'm cool with. People going and struggling through the same things. And like, yeah, that's called classism. That's what got your stupid ass caught up in this bullshit to begin with. Because you don't come from a history of people that treat people horizontally worse than or less than you if you live in the same fucking room. If you work on the same fucking project. If you're on the same fucking boat. You're not bullying people and telling them to scrub harder. We are not Snow White's mother. We're warriors, descendants of Khans. If we have a fucking problem with a nigga, they're dead. I'm not keeping a faggot around. What are y'all talking about, bro? Did you read about the Khans? You read about the Mayans? Same story, bitch. They don't have no reason for no. Who the fuck can fuck with us that we would need to work for us? Like, let's be fucking serious, bro. I'm 6'3", nigga. What's a little nigga gonna do? What's a little white boy gonna do? You seen the pictures? What the fuck they gonna help me with? And no disrespect to my African brothers. What are little African brothers gonna help me with these big ass trees, these big ass waves, these big ass rocks, these big ass bears, these big ass everything in America? Big ass everything here. What am I gonna do with a bunch of little people? Nothing. Nothing. If we run into them, they come and they need our help, we help them. If they're on the wrong side of the fence, they know it. They have known that for hundreds of years. The only thing new here is white, though. And I think that's the most confusing thing about it. Because white can mix into us and wash out as brown. But we don't turn into anything if we mix with white. So, it is very interesting to me as an Indian descendant because it disappears on its own. You feel me? If your first boat of Mayflower people is 30, and we don't even know if it's half and half boys and girls, usually isn't, right? The Atlantic Ocean, you got bitches on that boat? Fuck you. No, the fuck you didn't. So you're bringing dudes over. And they're not even white, but let's pretend they're white. Well, if they white ass came here to Pocahontas land and they had a kid, what color is that kid? Come on, fuck with me. Come on, fuck with me. Let's do a logic real quick. Copper colored people today. You good? Copper colored people today. The same Indians. Met a white boy today or a white girl today. What color is your kid? Now go to Morisco chart. What colors are kids? All right, why is there so many white people in America? If the first white men that came to America to be colonialists, without wives, without anything, remember they're kids. They're soldiers. So if they stayed, that's why white people have their names, because they started a thing. They didn't bring no women, so who they have kids with? Black people, right? So a black person has a kid with a white boy, which never happens, by the way, because of Rogan. So you understand, like, the hypothetical of the situation. But imagine if. Then what? How do you get millions of white people with a boat of 30 mixing with black people? That's only 1775. If and then when you had a bunch of white soldiers and Quakers and redcoats coming over, and whether they're pillaging booty hole boys, because most of them are faggots, or they're fucking with the women, some of them are decent, I imagine. How many kids are you going to have that are going to be white again? So how's a whole land full of copper-colored people as of 1828? Mostly white people. When in the United States history were they just openly bringing non-royal white women and workers over? And why would you need to bring non-royal white women and workers over if you already have Indians and Africans here and everything's already built and set up? You even got the Asians here. I was working on a railroad type niggas. So when do you bring your white women with you? When does a white man with an Indian woman have a white kid? Do two light-skinned niggas you meet, you ever seen two light-skinned people get together? It's very weird when they do. When they have a kid, do they turn white? No. You take a red bone and yellow bone, just come out white. You take a yellow bone and yellow bone, just come out white. Steph Curry, Aisha Curry. Their daughter, that little badass girl he had in his conferences, is she a white girl? All right, then. So if she mixes with another Indian, does it become a white boy? Oh, no. If she mixes with the stock above her that stayed horizontal, and one of their kids had a kid with her, and he's brown, Indians, does Aisha Curry's daughter and that brown kid have a white kid? No. So we have from whenever the fuck they lie began, all the way up until 1828, of why everyone's still copper colored, even if white people came over. All right, so when do the white girls finally make it over here? If their complaint is on the back of our civil rights renegotiations, why are white women saying, hey, we want jobs, we want opportunities, we don't want to be anchored to men in order to afford a livelihood in these federal estates? Where did that come from? Federal censuses, as soon as they begin. Is it a bunch of people, a bunch of white women? So when the white girls start getting in, and why are they on a federal citizen if they're the original royals of the European colonies? Are they Dred Scots? So how did they become U.S. citizens? Come on, talk to me. Come on, talk to me nice. Talk to me real fucking nice. How did white women become indentured under civil rights in order to get jobs in the same federal government that their daddy created 400 years ago? Come on, talk to me nice. Go ahead and talk to me nice. Those white girls are new. They only got here if they can be partnered up with another foreign immigrant boy. They came here married. They did not want to be married. So by the time they did that on Ellis Island, and you know this story, the craziest thing is how recent this story is. Because that Ima girl, that little Somalian girl, she married her brother to come to the United States. Are you familiar with this passport degree they use? Now all the white people. Because they read the Bible wrong. This is not my wife, this is my sister. They just did it in reverse. This ain't my sister, this is my wife. Dumb people. The whole time the story is about aliens and giants, but we'll let white people, the little alien giant, have it. So what I'm saying is, you don't have white women in these colonies. Look at our sisters, bro. You think white boys are bringing sand to a beach? Soldiers. Let's be fucking serious. If they can do whatever they want to whoever they want, why would they be bringing white girls to the beach? Why would they be bringing their white daughters to go fight in Indian wars and Gullah Geechee wars and independence? So right, remember, United States history says war, 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 war. So you're gonna send thousands of innocent little white girls to these savages and Negroes in Indian lands? What kind of irresponsible dickhead shit is that? So if you want to find out the true history of what the fuck's going on in their bullshit, you just gotta figure out what town had a predominant group of white women and when. You can't tell me it was a dominant town of white women before 1868 in the West. Annexation of Texas proves that's a goddamn lie. Moorish people and Indian associates. White girl, you're not Pocahontas. And Indians aren't white. So there's no white girls as of 1868 as a whole this way. That only gives you the Northeast. Because are white girls from the Carolinas and Georgia? No, that's nigga Indian territory, completely. So even if there was 1 or 2 plantations with a white woman who then kids inherited the plantation, becoming the biggest slave masters before the shit is over, that's like 15 locations, dog. That shit wouldn't fill up Raleigh, North Carolina, their population. It's not a densely populated thing. And what I'm saying is, and on top of that, it can never, ever, 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 ever be densely populated with white girls. And there's still white girls 400 years later. Go to Brazil real quick, my nigga. All right, then. So, do these white women look like the white women in South America and Central America? Why not? Whoa, that's a weird story. How come the white girls in South America look like different white girls if y'all got the same fucking white grandmother that came here to colonize Americas? Can they make that make sense for me? Please, can anyone in the chat make that make sense for me? If all the white girls that we have here occupying the United States of North America are the same migrations of white people in boats and armies that came to South and Central America, why do their white girls have all that ass and all that hair, and all these white girls up here just babbling? I would love a person who's very serious about women rights and why they have civil rights in their daddy's corporation on a foreign Indian land. I would love for anyone that really gave a fuck about feminism and not the Jewish kind. I would love for anyone who actually takes history fucking serious to explain how the fuck a traveling army of Mamelukes, eunuchs, and faggots have a boat full of white women to have all these bad built white women out here today unmixed with Indians. Yet if you go to Brazil to this day, nigga, if you go to Costa Rica to this day, nigga, if you go to Dominican Republic to this day, if you go to any of those islands where they said they touched down first, white people, and you see what those white people look like, who are these white people in North America? And why don't they look the same with the same amount of time in the gym, the same 24 hours a day, and the same Indians all around them? Old blood type all around us. Cream, get the money, my nigga. So, like, you can't even change that. We know what pedigrees and blood types are. Thank you, white women. Y'all do too. But you get what I'm saying is, where do you get the blonde eyes, the blonde hair, blue eyes from? How you go from a Blackamoor family crest in England to blonde hair and blue eyes in fucking Boston? Like rock with me. Where they do that at? What year did they do that at is what I'm saying. Because you're going to tell me that comes from Germany. Did Germany find the Caribbean? Christopher Colon is a part Portuguese Jew. He's a crypto Jew. Ain't nothing white in that story. He a crypto Jew as in a crypto Jew of the black Jews, not a crypto Jew of the Jewish. He's not crypto Jewish, he's a crypto Jew. Totally different story. He got a black granddaddy. Moors, pirates, Corsica. The story's where he comes from. So, you come over here like, all right, white woman, where do you come from? You don't come from Portugal. You don't come from Spain. That's the first 200 years locked up right there. 1775 is Moors, Continental Congress, City Muhammad. This is all Mohammedans. Treaty of Tripoli, Treaty of Peace and Friendship. Are there white Muslim women in fucking turbans doing Sabbath, keeping rituals and doing all the things in all of these lands and all the Caribbean lands that are non-federal? Where are those tribes of white women at? Fuck these faggots. Fuck my brothers. I don't fuck with a real Indian, a real Mohammedan type nigga. Where are the white girls with feathers in their head, niggas? Talk to me. Talk to me. Where are these white girls that wash their fucking legs? If they grew up on plantations with our sisters, my nigga. Talk to me. Talk to me. Where they body at if we eating the same dinners, my nigga? Talk to me. Talk to me. And if our sisters do all the work domestic, and they do, Then how come the white women are not as good as our sisters in domestications if they're having millions of kids and families too? You want to tell me every white person in North America was raised by niggas? I'll go for it then. And now imagine they fucking dickhead grandkids in front of us biting the hand that feeds them. So unless you tell me where all the white girls came from and when these soldiers brought sand to a beach, my nigga, when that's the most dangerous trip ever. Did you play the Oregon Trail? You played the Oregon Trail? Now imagine on the fucking boat across the Atlantic Ocean with the biggest waves in human history to this day. You think white girl, come on. Oh, you saw Rose on the Titanic, you thought like, oh, they're used to it by now. No, nigga. No, nigga. The men could barely survive that damn voyage. How stupid these fuckers are. So if you have a proliferation of white people into the colonies, the Northeast, the coast, around the 1800s, because they're still white right now, then that means they brought them here as slaves. Since their first step after that emancipation was to go direct to United States citizen status, and then before they can get jobs or credit, they had to become civil rights. The same rules that applied to Dred Scott is the same rules that applied to white women. So white women were not part of the original colonies, because if they were, original colony female names of female counties would be named after them, and those white women would have a direct beeline to their greatest grandmother, because there was no mixing with niggas and Indians, right? You know how like I beeline to King John of the original colony? There should be a whole tribe of white people still white after 400 years. They'll be like, yeah, I'm a beeline from who? Go ahead. Go ahead, tell me who you beeline from. Because the first people that founded the American colonies and those names are all Jews. And they're all Israelites. So miss me that Christian Catholic bullshit, pick one. White girl, you're a Roman Catholic, Irish something? Cool, fucking story, bitch. You didn't care here to Ellis Island. All right, now, what about that? But fuck that Ellis Island. You said you were here since 1492, white bitch. From 1492 up until 1992 is 500 fucking years. And you're still white, bitch. How? And until we can answer that genetically, biologically, logically, mathematically, you're stuck in hypothecation. You're stuck in debating like the plot to Star Wars and if Palpatine was the good guy. You're stuck talking about the Matrix and the hidden meanings of that one scene. But the real question is, what's the first colony of white girls prior to Ellis Island? We know how they get there now. We got trains, planes, gorillas, animals, all kind of shit now. But I'm talking about in all these storybooks that we have about the Americas, where's the town portrait of white women? Have you found it yet? Have you found white women with Indians in any pictures or photos? What else would they be dressed in? They're waiting for my mothers and sisters to make the dresses. So what were white women dressing? And what I'm saying is, I also want to know what cemetery they're at, so we can dig them up and see if they're dressed like that. There's an easy way to reverse engineer all this bullshit if you wanted to. And that's what Mr. Dice said, never without a fake background. No. But no, I don't even care about where they come from. I'm talking about when did they come here? When did they come here? If it's a war, you're not bringing women, bro. If it's a war, you're not procreating on hostile territory. If it's a war and a civil war between your own people, you're definitely not about to crank out a million kids on a hostile territory that ain't yours. So why would you bring in your white girls and your family from your homeland to be born and die in a war? Meaning, you couldn't get this many white women here until after the Civil War. Orphan trains, Cabbage Patch Kids, and you name it. And that's less than 50 years before they go, fuck you, feminism, straight from Poland and Germany, where blonde hair and blue eyes comes from. White women have not been in this country in these populations to these degrees until the 1900s. That is why there's no white people from the original colonies left. Because by the time you mix with us, we're all that's here. This is our homeland. We don't turn white. We're old blood. We're red. We're red. We're not black. You mix white with black, you get yellow. You mix white with us, you get copper. You mix it again, you get me. I saw my mother. She has a white mother. Look what color I am. My mother has a white mother, a ginger. My mother has a white mother. Now imagine that white woman, if she would have came 500 years ago, her grandkids would be my color. And is. Even the piss colored Negro cousins I got. Because they daddy black. They're a different tribe, Price. I don't know what they are. Some type of black European. But they mixed with my mom's sister and they came out like my mom's sister color. My mom got with an Indian. And I'm Indian colored. Get it? So I could tell who people are just by how they're mixed. You can't look at me until I have a white grandmother. And that's my point. So white women, when did you get her? I might have several white grandmothers too over the time. You couldn't tell by looking at me. That's my point. That's why we're indifferent to foreigners. After 3 generations, they're gonna be fucking Indians. That makes sense? 3 and a half, that makes sense. If you mix with old blood type red bloods, and you had a person got lost and, you know, got along and we had kids, even if it's on some bullshit and they try to rape one of our sisters and somehow she stayed pregnant. After the 3rd generation, they'll be Indians again. Unless someone's making a concentrated effort, segregation, to keep it white for a particular reason. Now we have to explore that. If we're a nation of one blood, one people, who are these white people that are isolating themselves and keeping themselves pure? And I don't have a problem with that. By the way, white people, I don't have a problem with you being white supremacists and keeping your bloodline pure. The only problem I have with that is that you're a United States citizen. So that don't give you permission to do the bullshit you do against Indians on Indian territory. That has never changed, not even in your laws and your treaties. I got them. But what I would love to know, while you're working on that project of incest you got over there, where did it come from? That you would have to do that here, when it'd be so much simpler for you to take your stupid ass back home. That's what you tell an African, right? If an African don't like it here in Indian territory, go back to Africa. How are you different? Both of y'all niggas ain't from here. That's all I want to know, white folks. You can be the way you are. I'm with you. But why are you here like that? You did not find the United States. So what I'm saying is, like, what are you afraid of departing from? None of this shit's yours. And you sure as your ancestors sure as hell didn't build none of it. You got us, you got the Africans, you got the Asiatics, you got the South Americans, you got the Central Americans, you got the Latinos, you got the Mexicans, and whatever their real grandmothers are. I mean, we didn't need white girls. For what? White girls couldn't work. So I need to put your brain in perspective here. There's a bunch of wars, there's earthquakes, there's fires, there's Geechee rebellions, there's Schwabe, there's still slavers. There's all kind of fuck shit going on. And white women couldn't work. So they needed their men, no matter what, to be on these lines, right? She didn't just get a job at Walmart in 1888. Yeah, orphan and widow is dead. Unless one of us pick her up. And like I said, if that happened back then, all them kids would look like me right now. Which is why a lot of people that look like me got a white grandmother or great grandmother somewhere. And you couldn't tell. Hence. But in the same year that we got, with white people in our bloodline, for the past 500 years, it's 2026, and there's just white everywhere. So much so, when it's time to come vote for the United States game, they're the majority. You heard what the fuck I just said? White girls who didn't build shit in this country are the majority of the political parties. I don't run that past your desk one more time. You're trying to figure out who the bully behind this whole play is. Because they're copying this. Bar for bar. White women couldn't work until recently. So why the fuck would you have millions of white people, women here, since 500 years ago? And keep them white. You have to fight. You have to provide. You have to survive. You have to stop. You know how their personalities are already. Them just running away and going with the little Indian best friend or me. So it wouldn't be wise if you have a surplus supply depot of where white people come from. White people, where y'all come from? Why did you bring so many white women here for a war in a colony? You're not planting white people, are you? Weird, because if you're planting white people in a plantation, those white people are considered slaves. Ain't that how the rules work for niggas? Where you move them into our towns and houses? That's bold. Well, that gives you the 1800s, because they were our towns and houses until the Civil War, right? And you didn't build them. Y'all not Moors, remember? Remember? Y'all not the Moors. So y'all didn't build Asheville, Biltmore Estate. Y'all didn't do Baltimore. Y'all didn't do DC, Benjamin Banneker. So you went from no white girls to no white girls working to no white girls voting to no white girls privileges until niggas going, yo, fuck you, because the Jewish guy gave us his weird idea in college, and now the white girls is like, we're next. Whoa, sis. You're the newest one here. White girl, you're the newest one here. Isabella is not a white woman. It's a Jew name. So that wasn't a white queen or whatever the fuck you can imagine. And then by the time you get to the white queen pictures, after we were here, come on, it's been 400 or 500 years, that whoever them white people selling drugs is, squatting on castles and shit, they didn't build those. You know that. You can go there now and you can tell they didn't build that shit. They painted some white paintings of ugly people that don't exist and put them up there, but they didn't build that castle. So it's not theirs. What I'm saying is the person who built the castle built it for themselves. So you're in a castle you didn't build, meaning it wasn't yours. If it was your daddy's castle or your grandfather's castle, he built it himself. The king puts the capstone in. You don't have a slave build something that's gridded and free energy and all this shit that goes to those castles, especially at the bottom of them. And y'all are not good for terraform underground, and you ain't gonna start lying to me and act like that castle ain't as deep as it is high. You're full of shit. So no, we don't know any white people who can build that to this day. Look under the state capitol building. Y'all didn't build those buildings either. Them buildings is older than your damn name on King James English, 1611. So I have to say that because I'm sitting in this place with so many white girls on the west side. Meaning they didn't get here until after 1860s. But where did they come from? If they don't have 10, 20 kids in the 1800s like we did, how is there so many of them? Where are they getting white women from? So many different variations of them too. Like seriously, if you're a white woman watching me, do y'all know where y'all come from? It doesn't have to be from the same plantation or location as the boys, by the way. Y'all are not the same. You know how like a North Korean and a South Korean anymore? The genes, you know, the separation, the genes are different. And plus whatever white people and Chinese people are really fucking everybody. You know how it goes. Singapore, Korea. You know what I'm talking about? Those are all mainland people. No one started on islands. But somehow they're all their own things on an island now. Jamaica, Cuba, Puerto Rico. Islands that were fucking empty 200 years ago. You hear what I said? Those islands were empty 200 years ago. That's why those houses look so old, like a shanty, or like, you know, kind of bust down, because they're new. Hurricanes and shit like that. Remember, we've had category plus whatever demonic hurricanes this whole time. No fire departments, no vehicles, no cranes, no skilled laborers, no Mexicans. So now put your ass in 1500, 1600, 1700 to Tecumseh's Comet, 1800 in those fucking islands during category 5 fucking hurricane seasons every fucking year. No global warming. White people ain't here yet. So when you look at those islands, the only things that really stand that test of time is the castles that my ancestors built. Old San Juan, Old St. John, Old Prester John, Old Dwayne Smith the 13th. Get it? Keep up. So yeah, white women, y'all don't manifest from islands, and y'all took over the Caribbean and South America first. So I'm dead ass. Like, so where the white people, white boys, I can guess, but white girls, where did y'all come from in mass? We have no pictures of you in that America's book. That's the most curious thing about it. Even on that Castile family picture, there's 2 Castile redhead gingers. They're boys. There's no white girls in none of those pictures. For real, you don't start seeing white girls painted in the America, like emblems and postmarks and stuff. And the craziest thing about those white-ish people is that they all have red hair. So that means they're inversos. They're Baynons. They're not even, you know what I'm saying? They're not. Y'all told us that Irish people ain't really white. Remember civil rights? So y'all not Celts. Y'all not Iberian descendants and inversos. Right? Blonde hair, blue eyes is not that. So you get what I'm saying? So it's like, you can't say y'all started in Germany 2,000 years ago. Nigga, how were y'all in Germany 2,000 years ago? We was back and forth to Germany this whole time. That's what the Holy Roman Empire is. That's why DC is Nuremberg. It's Germany. Alamance counties. Germany. All over the East Coast. Germans settled the East Coast. I'm German. I'm not blonde hair and blue eyes. I'm a Moor. Germain, Saint Germain, Saint Maurice, Germany. It means black. It's a woman though. It's a black woman, so all her kids will be black boys. Mitochondria, white sisters. Mitochondria's gonna tell your story, man. You feel me? It's not a hate speech. I'm just trying, I really need to know where white girls come from. Because we can't make them. I can't make white girls. And I have several different white people in my branches. I will never have a white girl. So where do white girls come from? Even passing white. I've dated a passing white girl before. I saw her real hair. I could put my hand on her neck and put my fingers through the back of her hair. Oh no, you ain't no white girl. And then I saw her kids. They came out black kids again. Because her baby daddy, a big Indian like me. It's already over. That passing white play is done. At best, you might be able to fuck around and think they're Puerto Rican or something because they got last name Gomez. That's a weird story, Spanish Moors in Texas. That's a big black nigga like me that they got Gomez from. And that nigga don't speak no Spanish. But Mexico first president was a Moor. And there's Moors in Texas named Gomez and all kind of Spanish last names. Just as big as me. Just as big as me. And I think he was bigger than me. I think he was like 6'5". So yeah. I think that's what it is. Is that the secret board behind the current United States is the white or Jewish girl. Their men are they're not smart enough or clerical enough to keep all this behind the scene, paper, the structure. It's structure. White boys don't come up with structures, bro. They can come up with some destruction now. But they're not the ones in the offices doing the paperwork, Iron Mountain. You see how Trump is. Like, he has a bunch of white girls interface with the press, write the scripts. You know what I'm saying? Like, there's nothing wrong with that. I'm just pointing out. Now, those are all white and Jewish girls. None of those are Americans. None of those are Indians. And they're barely United States citizens before 1868. So if you're a white woman in that prediction where you needed additional privileges to have your own in recent history in the 1900s, that means there's no hereditary nationality, nativity that goes to you because all of your privilege are under civil. What do you say? I can't hear you. You need a lighter or something?
Yeah.
I got you. Hold on. Slow down. Let me love you. I think white girls sabotage white people. I ain't gonna hold you. Not an enemy, white girl. I just want to figure out where your grandma stayed, so we can figure out where we are in the story of you. Are you friends or foes? Let us know. You're still white somehow, and you've been here for 500 years, alleged. Right? Fair? Shot a job and free. It's a fair question, right? I saw a white girl say it. I feel like, how come black people are the only people that gotta go out their way to prove their history? I was like, that is right. We're the only ones that do these videos. And when it's crazy is if we didn't. If we were just parked that slave and African from West Sub-Saharan Africa, as if there's no other place to live in Africa. For niggas who hate the heat, by the way. You don't see white people going, oh yeah, I'm this, I'm that, I'm this, I'm that, I'm this, I'm that, I'm this. They keep going everywhere else. There's no white people there. Thailand, China, South America, Australia, New Zealand. There's no white people there in the 1800s. Are you serious? None. Not at all. And what's crazy about your migration patterns, especially white girls and white families, y'all keep setting up colonies that are uniquely, listen, check this out, Jonathan. They uniquely make permanent alien colonies where aboriginal Afro-Asiatic species are. Here, Zealand, Australia, Germany, but all of that Africa. And the craziest thing about South Africa, that's where the Khoisan tribe is, another Afro-Asiatic family. Right? You saw Nelson Mandela's eyes. Like, the Khoisan just north of that. So, like, that's why I'm like, hey, there's a whole bunch of land here, bro. Why are y'all surrounded by Asians everywhere you go? Because if your first stop was West Africa, Liberia, Ghana, Nigeria, why didn't y'all just make a population of 300 million there? It wasn't contested or nothing. You said they were savages and uncivilized, and now you're going to tell me you need their cobalt, tungsten, toctan, traxatan, Turkmenistan minerals. Like, you didn't know that 500 years ago? You're descendants of the Nephilim and space people. What the fuck y'all talking about? You didn't know Africa was rich in resources when you were stealing niggas from it? How you skip an African colony, bro? Y'all say that y'all the people who traversed the Horn of Africa. That's South Africa. All the way up to the west. To get in and out. Where are your African colonies at? Why would you have more white people in America than anywhere else in the world? If y'all started on that side of the world, bro. Y'all saying there's so many black people in America because there's so many more black people stuck in Africa. Cool story. Why is all your colonies everywhere else but where you're from? You feel me? We got to figure that out. For your sake, not mine. I know what my blood is. Nativity. I know what my mothers are. That's what I'm trying to figure out. Who are the white giant mothers? Do y'all know y'all names? They cannot be English and German. I'm saying you can say them in English or German, but y'all wouldn't have created with y'all wouldn't have come out of your own independent, homogenous, xenophobic race of people and then have nigga languages, is what I'm saying. So y'all don't do the 2,000, y'all do 2,000 years of history in Egypt for some reason, over and over and over and over. You talk about the Greeks and Romans like you knew them, and I'm a Holy Roman Emperor descendant, but where is that in white? That's what's scary about whitewashing. That's probably scarier than the disrespect and the loss of memories and amnesia that we're all suffering. But no, what's scarier is if you whitewash that many things, then everything's whitewashed. And if everything's whitewashed, then we don't know what is white. You feel me? There's something on the strength and integrity of your bloodline. Like, you want to know which is really yours. Because I'm here to tell you as your boy, it's still yours. But what is it? This ain't yours. It's a corporation. Out of treaty illegally, running out of dollars. Where you gonna go? For real. Like, Where have y'all been talking about your WhatsApps and Discords and little groups y'all got? You already, you know, cucked the white man and trying with niggas. But when it's all said and done, where you going? Because it sounds like we're going to a civil war because of you. I'm not trying to die for you. I'm still salty about Emmett Till. Those white women getting all these boys killed. Y'all ain't watching in colors enough for me. I get it, sis. You don't have to, but I had to. Because I try to figure out, like, why the cops killing me? Because you're a liar. Right? White women be lying. Our sisters be lying, too. But white women be lying, and you get arrested or killed. That don't sound like someone that's been my neighbor for 500 years with holy Roman Bibles and 10 Commandments in they fucking loadout. That don't sound like that. That don't sound like no Catholic principles at all. It's a lie, bear false witness, and then knowing they're going to get hung or killed. Murder. So you break 2 commandments just by living around us. Yeah, we're dead because of white women. White men and their jealousy and their envy and all that shit wouldn't happen unless white women were here looking at niggas. And the craziest thing is, neither one of you are from here, so you created your own problems, your own hostile conditions, and in that little horizontal slave class bullshit got us killed horizontally. And y'all go, oops, well, I guess we can buy that house now. Right? Talk to me nice. Talk to me nice. Don't tell me it's not all white women. We don't know where all white women come from. Before you tell me it's not all of y'all, where do y'all come from, bro? Stop saying Europe. Nah, Europa is a black woman. If you come from Europa, you would be European because your greatest grandmother is a black giant. And all of y'all ain't the same type of white people. Europe ain't that goddamn big for you to be European any goddamn way. Britain, London City, like it ain't like that. It ain't like New York City. First of all, cut it out. Cut that shit out. Why you think we moved here? We had too many fucking kids to stay there. We be having 20 kids per woman, bro. So even if you were there with us, you would have never outnumbered us, bro. Because your kids would have got with our kids, it became light-skinned kids, and all the things you see now. There would not be no pure stock of white people for 500 years in a row anywhere around niggas, bro. But especially not around Indians. And I think that's like the craziest, scariest thing about this whole story, bro. It don't matter who I am or who I'm not. You know I'm from this territory. But when they whitewash stuff, retro, and the crazy thing about it is, guys, they didn't whitewash it. Like, for instance, you have like the concept of Jesus Christ, right? And the same people who don't have a history will tell you, oh, this is BC, before Christ. That's not what BC means. BC is a different time clock. AD is a different time clock. They're not successions, first of all, right? But you know how the horizontal slave class is. They just believe the stupid teacher that just got here. But let's imagine if there was a white Jesus 2,000 years ago. Then you go, read the same Bible from 2,000 years ago. Like, well, 2,000 years ago, for 2,000 years in a row until white people got to America, everyone knew he was copper code, right? It's still there now as of 1611. So from 0 to 1611, so that's 1,611 years in a row. It's undisputed that Genghis, Jesus, Yeshua is a black guy. It's undisputed that Israelites and Jews are black guys up until the Bible being, because the Bible was translated, and Jesus and David and everyone still described black as of 1611. So if it's a BC story, 0 to 1611, undisputed, unquestioned, the book that white religions are based on is seriously about black people. There's no way to swiggle out of that in all the other degrees and language and blah, blah, blah. We ain't got to do that, but I'm just saying, in the book itself. A 2,000-year-old book, like, nah, God is black and his kid is black. The end, right? Y'all have white churches, white Catholics, and this is what y'all said. Y'all came from a church that sent you here with that book about black people, but you brought white pictures of Jesus. So when we say Jesus is whitewashed, you start thinking about Constantine and Council of Nicaea and all this stuff that's unproven and undocumented. Because why would a bunch of niggas like me, Jews and Israelites, create a white Jesus for a land that doesn't have white people? So the whitewashing that we experience is after Reconstruction, meaning they whitewashed things as they discovered it. They didn't discover those things until after the United States. There's a white Buddha out there. You know that's a damn lie. White Jainism, you know that's a damn lie. White Mohammedan leaders, you know that's a damn lie. A white Jew, you know that's a damn lie. A white African, cut it out. A white American Indian, cut it the fuck out. A white South American, cut it the fuck out. A white Mexican, cut it the fuck out. A white Japanese person, cut it the fuck out. A white Fiji person, Afro-Asiatic blood through Papua New Guinea to New Zealand and Australia, because you don't manifest on islands. Remember white people? But there's a bunch of black people on those islands, right? How did those little black people get to those islands if they didn't have boats? Genius? Alrighty then, not white people. So I'm just saying white because I'm talking about the pedigree, like, because we don't know what it is. You can only have a nationality if your mother is native to the land. Nativity. Well, all the lands I named are red or black women. And named after them as such. Don't get twisted. So, what land is named after a white woman in a white woman language? So, whitewashing happened retroactively. The hypothecation is recent. And it happened 2,000 years ago. White people didn't take over the world to make everything white in real time. No. White people put us in school with them as they were whitewashing that shit since the World Fair. Remember, they didn't integrate us with their learning in their books until Board of Education. So, from Civil War, 60s, to 1920, it's 60 years. That's 3 generations. Grandkids. The grandkids have a whitewash images, newspapers, books, stories, fiction, etc. I ain't got no problem with that, Hardy Brothers. But then when you integrate with us, and you put those schools together, then it's kind of like we're in a school with white people. Because they're sending us one black person at a time to your classrooms. Because why would Indians go to school with white people? Knowing our history just 60 years ago. You remember the black kids that are going to school with you, their grandparents know this is their country, right? Hope y'all not lost in that. Like, all the niggas in this country that you've seen in the 60s, their grandparents knew that white people were not here, not a click before, bro. That's what, and this is why it's so fresh when you hear Malcolm X talk. It's fresh. He's not talking about 400 years ago. Martin Luther King. That's a fresh wound to him. He ain't talking about 400 years ago. I feel like I'm a stranger in my own land. I ain't land on Plymouth Rock. Plymouth Rock landed on me. And these are quips. But all they're really saying to you is, on degrees, I've been here, shorty. Martin Luther King and Malcolm X, like, we've been here. Like, what are we talking about? They're doing civil rights. They're renegotiating their Dred Scott arrangement after the Civil War with the white government that decided to stay and not leave and use excessive force illegally by not upholding the treaties with the Moors, correct? Correct. Correct. On Sidi Muhammad, correct. Y'all don't have no Sidi Muhammads, white people. Don't do that. Y'all change the game all the time. First y'all Jesus, then y'all Christian, then y'all Catholics, and then you gonna pretend like you're the Imperial Majestics of America, and you're really gonna piss me off. Impossible. Why the fuck would your name be Sidi Muhammad as a white boy? Let alone a Jesus. Same story, same character. So, man. That's just what I woke up thinking about today. I was like, we've been going all over the world, man. Yeah. And I don't know the name of a white goddess or a white land in a white language. Is Caucasia a woman? That'd be a dope ass name, by the way. Although we would have had to name her. But is Caucasia a stand-in for the giant blonde white girl? I'm not against it. I don't think white people are unique to our universe at all. I think they're unique to this planet. I just want to know who Caucasia is, because Asian isn't her name, and Asians are not white girls. What I'm about to do is I'm going to flip this all on the head. I think Jonathan already knows where I'm going. is that one thing's for sure, two things for certain, is that the largest population of people here at Midgard are always Asiatic first. Meaning, the original man of this plane is a pedigree of Asiatic dimensions. Remove the color spectrum. They're Asiatic dimensions, genetic codes, compatibility. I don't think Asians need Rogan shots. I don't think Asians need Rogan shots with Africans. I don't know. I mean, I saw the story about the DNA and the RH and the Chinese people today, but even them being Chinese today, you can tell their ancestors are Asiatics, right? So you get to like Elijah Muhammad and all of them, and what they were saying about it is like, black man's Asiatic man. It's because it's an Asiatic planet. So if black man is the oldest man and he's Asiatic, then it's an Asiatic planet. If black man the oldest man, black man Asiatic, then the oldest man is Asiatic. They say African. A different pedigree. You gotta just keep running it back. Aboriginal, indigenous, European. So, this is an Asiatic planet. That's where I'm getting at. It's an Asiatic planet. This whole thing is Asia. Asia Major, Asia Minor. I'm Afro-Asiatic. Kings and shit. Not Afro-Asiatic, Afro-Asiatic. I's and O's, very big difference, quantum computers. So yeah, you'll figure it out eventually. So like, no. At the very least, modern humanity in its current sizes started with Asiatics, period. And that's what I'm interested in. If Africans came later and white people came later, how do we get Africans and white people, non-Asiatic versions, on this planet? I'm very interested in it because it's only the white people who want to leave. That's weird. You just got here and you already want to, like, think about it. Think like someone like Elon Musk, who first gets to the United States and him and his Jewish Kabbalion friends run it up real tough. Millions and billions of dollars of credit. And the first thing they want to do is go live on Mars. What you kill all the niggas for? If the Nazis are trying to go to Antarctica and they got some cool little technology, why are they still here? Like, why you move to Nuremberg or DC if your ass got New Zealand, Australia, and Antarctica? Like, why are you here? You love the cold, Iceman, right? Like, yeah, that's what I'm saying. Like, why are you trying to fuck up the Asiatic flow of civilization and breeding just to put a stint in it, just to not be able to cross-compatible and breed and keep yourself, and then go, we're going to lie about going to the moon, but we're going to hope we can find a way to jump through the firmament to get somewhere else. That doesn't make sense. You just got here. And I think that's what I'm trying to say, bro. What I'm really getting at, because I don't know the answer. I don't know the definitive story. I think they ought to, just like we ought to know who we are. But I don't think they, you feel me, guys? I don't think they have a landmass on Europa. Like, because that's the scariest part. They're the only ones concerned about space. We've been here for thousands of years. And we already documented that space people come up and down. So we're not trying to create a space program. Those are our parents. Alleged, right? I can't prove it. Actually, I got videos, but not no family reunion pictures just yet. Give me some time. But even if, I know my blood has been here the whole time. But white people, y'all don't have the same story, bro. Y'all act like y'all don't know your story. You whitewashed and took ours. Or you didn't even take it. You inserted yourself into it and whitewashed what was behind you. Clever, but stupid. You're not Jews. And you ruined it by having a different class of white people called Jewish. But that should have been you first, because Jews came here first. In your story, in your 500-year timeline. The royals were Jews, so Jews came here first. So if you're saying the first white people came here to the Americas to set up all these Jew colonies, then y'all would have been the Jews, right? If you're white in America, it's because you're a Jew. You see how white people don't know that? You don't even have to know what color the Jew is for real. But Judah, Judge, Genghis is easy. But even let's just do it the other way y'all did it. All the Jews and crypto Jews, because that's the operative word there, right? And you can research everything I'm saying to you. If you look up crypto Jew, crypto Muslim, and whatever else the cryptos were, because they're going underground of their worship and habits under a Christian dominion, AD. So, imagine, if you will, Spain, Portugal, you have a crypto problem, meaning people who are secretly worshiping the systems, and it's not just a personal thing. It's like what that's connected to in other territories too. It's almost like they're forcing them to have citizenship by staying in their land that they're currently in, but you can't do that shit and have your titles of nobility with those kingdoms, because those are all kingdoms as of the 1400s, correct? Right. White people, do your science. So just imagine, if you will, whatever they're trying with the new Castiles or whatever the fuck that was over there. They go, all right, y'all can all stay here, but now we gotta play the game this way, and now we're king because I said so, and Tartary. So far, so good. I'm not lost shit. There's wars the whole time, by the way. They were never cruising, which is why they bitch ass had to come here, because they're broke. But while your broke ass was over there with them, I think, how would you go? How would you go? You look at a Muslim at that time, Arabian Moor, up until 1878, are darker than me. Let's fall back, classical Arabic, Hebrew. So if a white person showed up, you don't go, oh, are you a Jew? Are you secretly a Jew? You couldn't have white crypto Jews. Are y'all retarded? If white people were walking around, nobody in human history would be like, they're secretly Jews, y'all. Watch out for them. That's a secret Jew, right? That's a crypto Jew right there, boy. What? They have crypto Jews because Jews were just running the goddamn castle. And then if you go to Spain and Portugal today, who built the castles? The Moors. 14 something. They don't know the dates. You know, they put a date before they bitch ass start sitting there hypothecating. So it's like, all right. So if you have crypto Jews where Moors are, you think those are white people? What? You see how that? You see what I'm saying, though? You got to understand what I'm saying. You can't have white people reconquer the black territories and then have crypto Jews after it, and then tell me that Jews are white people. You can't have white people come in Andalusia and all that shit and remove the niggas and the royals. We was kings and shit, and then you have white people there. Full story, and then have white people there for your story and go, we have a crypto Jew problem. We don't know which one of these white people are really Jews. Because y'all fucked around and made Judah a fucking religion. Judah is not a religion. Jews are a family. Every Jew is related. So what I'm saying, for you to have a crypto Jew would entail that you're looking at me and you can't really tell who I'm related to. Am I a crypto Jew, or am I a crypto Ben? Am I a crypto Dan? Am I a crypto Japanese at the time? Am I a crypto Portuguese? What am I? You want to use that word like that. When you say crypto Jew, you talking about Judean, Jerusalem, Israelite. What color is Jesus, the Jew? They didn't know that before 1611? It was still black when they converted it to English, right? All right, so if you have crypto Jesuses there, how can Jews ever have been white people? And the story of where you come from to get to the Americas. And that blows up their whole fucking lie in education system and everything right there. Just following who the Jews are. Jews are a bloodline, a pedigree of people. Those are the royals of Europe. White people came in probably after that date, and now they're talking about they're Europeans. Can't be. Jews named it Europa after their mother, an angel. That's why they're Jews. Jews are not people. And that's why that blood thing, I keep saying pedigree, bloodline. Wolf, dog, chihuahua. Not the same story, though. Not the same story at all. Not the same story at all. Just like how, like, you got one even more relevant that is very clear. Ligers. Tigers, lions, and domesticated captivity, slavery, citizenship. And if you can force them to mate, which is not typical, because they have two different social styles, but if you do have a liger, he's just a huge, bad-built tiger. And very rare for them to be able to reproduce and keep a liger colony going. The reason why is they're similar ancestors, but they're different pedigrees. And I know there's white people like fucking with that. The cat and the rabbit, the cabbie. Y'all like fucking with shit like that. The tiger and the that, a liger. Y'all like fucking with shit like that. Did y'all fuck yourselves like that? Because I'm a Jew. There's no way that you would have a Jew-dominated anything 500 years ago to have a crypto oppression against Jews all the way to the slave coast of Kingdom of Judah coast up until the 16, 17, 1800s, and then you to be white today, and you have Israeli, Mossad, German, Polish, Jewish people, and you and them are both white people. There is no Jew in none of your stories. What I'm saying is, if you've been in Europe the whole time because you're Europeans for 2,000 years, you don't have a story when the Jews got there? You don't have the story when the Moors built the castles in your backyard? There's a lot of resources, a lot of lime to grab, a lot of quarries going on now. Come on now. The Moors built your castle in the land you're from? Like, how many ways can I dissect this problem? Your castles where the white Europeans are from is built by Moors, built by Moors, built by Moors. Cool story, cool story, cool story, cool story. It's built there because it's their land. Why would Moors from Africa build castles in Europe without building castles in Africa? Are you stupid? Don't answer that. So, you add Judah to the mix. Even if he mixing and fucking with everybody's daughters, they still be Jews. But Judah is the most dominant bloodline on the planet because it's the oldest. Its dominance comes from survival and adaptation, genetics, real Darwinism. When you have enough light codes and genetics to survive 3 or 4 flood stories and your grandson is still talking King James English. But what I'm saying is, I'm speaking my dad's language. Y'all speaking my dad's language. My dad ain't your dad. That means you picked it up after 1611, meaning you wasn't there with my dad 2,000 years prior. So, using our current language model of King James English, which was created by us, by the way, if you haven't caught the nuance, of why there is no word, designation, religion, anything in our language that can account for anything that's not a Jew or Israelite. Our language doesn't have a pathway for that. It uses holy vowels. Thus, it can only express those Inga things. Ingas and English people ain't never talking about nobody else. You know how we are. We're more like you than you are. But yeah, here we are. Trying to figure out, some citizen problem or some citizen rebellion. This is a slave rebellion. If you go into a civil war, it'd be a slave rebellion. Y'all trying to fucking y'all trying to cause us, what's that shit? Y'all trying to do another a bacon rebellion. Y'all trying to do a pork rebellion? I'm with it now. I'm with it. I would just like to know your story first before I die. Jew and Jew crime. Shout out to Jonathan L. Shout out to Composure Slim. Shout out to come on. 444. 3. Bingo, the range differentiated in melanin. Without the Y. Love from Israel, brother. How are you, Y? How are you doing, Kelly? Which Israel are you from? Israel's in America. You over here? Come on, 444. Hello, everyone. Hello, Straight Facts. Before the cold BC. Yup. Before the freeze, the last flood. And then the mud flood. Numbers of Afro-Asiatics in the current dispensation don't lie. Come on now. It's genes, man. This announces millions of years with Nisa propaganda and 1,000 years with history. Just be saying shit. Just be writing shit down and letting it fly in the university. Like, hey, here's my peer-reviewed paper I wrote when I was 19 about why black people act like Africans. Law. What? Hypothecation is crazy, man. Your scientific hypothecation process is not scientific, by the way. You can't hypothecate why something's whitewashed, bro. That don't land nothing. I hate that our whole history of this very place that we're in is, imagine, if you will, impossible variables could be real, and then this is the story of why we're here. And then when you're like, well, I believe in God and stuff, like, Big Bang Theory. What? God make more sense than your origin story. God made more sense than slavery of niggas my size. And all my parents are married through the Holy Roman Empire too, so I don't know where you fit me into your story. White people, that's why I ask white people and so-called Israeli Jewish people. If all my ancestors are directly royal and I'm still black today, where did my black come from? What I was saying is, like, because y'all are in Europe before I was, and y'all are Jews before I was, which one of your families created me? And why would the royals create a black version of them, if you will? Are you familiar with this? Why would there be a bunch of black Jews, is what I'm saying. Sammy Davis, Little Richard, your favorites. They're all black Jews. There's two different Judas? There's a black Judah and a white Judah? Is that how that shit work in Jerusalem? You got a white friend that look like Judah, you got a black friend that look like Judah? Were you Kanye West? How do you have white Jews and black Jews? I'm just curious, like, because you're Jews and Israelites. And Jews, you're the captains of Israelites. Like, so white people, y'all the tribe of Dan, Zebulun, and everybody else too? Where they at? Where they at in your lore? They all died off and Judah survived by himself and he became a little white person? The giant of Israelite became a little white person. And the other 12 to 13 tribes just don't exist no more. All those Afro-Asiatic Semites. But y'all know the difference. Tommy Davidson, thank you. And he was adopted. Imagine that. But imagine, at the end of the 1800s, y'all came up with anti-Semitic. So for a German, by the way, a German, Drumpf. So for Semite to show up in your vocabulary means you had to have the Edemon dictionary of what a Semite was to call something anti-Semitic, correct? And my last name is Semitic, ain't it? So how is questioning the origin of Israelis and Jewish people anti-Semitic if I'm a black Semitic Afro-Asiatic Jew descended from King Carlos V and King John Smith? Y'all saying there's white Jews in my tribe? White Judas, white Jerusalems. Jerusalem. Salam alaikum. Like the Quran, white Haru, salam from Egypt. Peace to Haru, peace to the gods, like white people. Jerusalem. Jerusalem. Heru, the American kestrel falcon. White people. Y'all knew what American kestrel falcon god was before you discovered America? Let me walk you down. Jerusalem is named after Haru. Haru's American kestrel falcon. 3 in the chat if that's true. Because I want to know what these Israeli, Jewish, white people are talking about. How is your god in your capital city named after an Egyptian god that only shows up in America? But you discovered America after you crashed out on Andalusia? But you're from Jerusalem 2,000 years before. Let me walk you down how that don't make sense if this is your language. Heru, Salam. Egypt, Quran. And Heru is American kestrel. This is very important. An American falcon is the god. Jesus. He's Egyptian, remember? Hey, Jewish people, Israeli people, did you know if you read the fucking Bible, the Israelite, Jacob and Abraham, Chaldeans came out of Egypt? Are y'all cousins with the Egyptians there now? I'm wondering something. Y'all don't look like each other. They don't look white either. They look more Mexican than they look white. Let's talk about it one day. So you saying you live with them people for 2,000 years in a row, and all of y'all over there in East Africa up to wherever you call Israel, Jerusalem, Palestine now, and y'all found it wise to document a god dedicated to a falcon that only shows up in America before you even knew that world existed? How is the bird, your god, older than the land discovery that you got it from? I'll walk down every church, every religious person, everybody who's a damn lie today. You won't tell me that the god of Egypt comes from America, but you discovered America after that was your god. That don't make sense at all. How do you have the god of Egypt? No, dead ass. I have him. He visits me. Like the god of your story visits me. That's a crazy story. That's a crazier story. I don't have to believe in God. He sends his bird to me. The bird that you say is your God, Jesus. From Egypt. Israelite? Jew? Weird story. You said you didn't know that America and the earth was flat and you fall off the side and there's leviathans and sea dragons, Chinese, Asians, and then you go, we discovered this new world. Oh my God, the god of Egypt lives here. And then you found Indians here with him. Your god of your big Bible, Heru, Eshu, Isa, Jesus, is the American Kestrel Falcon dog. No debate. You can't debate it because you weren't fucking here, remember? So that means you weren't part of the people who assigned who the god is. That's why I'm getting it. But you're saying you're a direct descendant of God. Where's your feather? You have no idea what the fuck I'm talking about. I know. That's crazy that I had to do all that research. Thinking I'm researching you, and I just found my damn self. Fringes culture is Israelite culture. That ain't you. Feathers are in the Bible. Swords are in the Bible. Bows and arrows are in the Bible. White people, Jewish people, Israelites, blondies. Y'all went to war with swords and bows and arrows? Cool story. Who built them? The wood that you use for ankhs and stuff grow in trees in America. Can you imagine that? So your whole story about Egypt and gods and coming out of captivity and becoming white and all that, and you ended up in Europe, in East Europe and Russia somehow. I don't mind that story. I guess if you could tell me anything now. It's your story. Tell whatever the fuck you want to tell me. But what you can't do is play in my fucking face about God. You are not the children of God. If the children of God come from Egypt, according to you, 2,000 years later. Remember? After 1492, he's still from Egypt, ain't he? Is Abraham in Egypt in that Bible or not, y'all? Put me in the chat. Is all this taking place in Egypt or not? The Old Testament. Because they're Jews. They're not New Testament, so they're not Christians, right? They're Jews. They're Jews in Egypt. That whole book. We're in Egypt, that whole book, bro. It didn't say where Egypt was, 2,000 years ago. You know how like we have York, then New York, Jerusalem, New Jersey, New Jerusalem. You notice how they move together? You notice how Ben and Judah move together? So why don't y'all have no feathers? That's what I'm saying, y'all. Like, we're in the weirdest space, our group at least, because I honestly don't think, with my very simple inquisition, my very simple reconquista of things, it's basic. I'm not digging deep in the crates. We're not talking in Hebrew. We're not translating no ancient texts. Nothing has changed in 2,000 years, according to all academia across the whole modern Western world in King James English. The God of Egypt has been the God of Egypt since the God had Egypt. And that God of Egypt has always been American. So this is not America, is it? North America is Egypt, Hakupta, land of the eagle, Sumeri. I'm Egyptian, but I'm an Egyptian through the tribe of Judah. That's why I'm a Jew. I'm a Jew in Egypt. Still, I'm a Jew in Egypt in captivity by foreigners, just like the Bible. Still, my story hasn't changed for, what was it, white people? 2,000 years? Weird fucking story, Civil War. So we're captives in Egypt in the Old Testament, and my family is here in the New Testament. Where are you? You're in the land where Israelites and Jews come from, aren't you? And what did you find here? Jews and Israelites. What y'all got going on? What's going on? What are y'all doing to us? What's up? Talk to me next. It's that easy. We just gotta solve for God. A Jew in Jupiter, can you fucking imagine? And don't we go over there, they call them Jewels. Because they're angels. Meaning they're tall. There's no J in Hebrew. They're ULs. Y-E-W-E-L. Tall Judah Jews. My grandfathers. From Egypt. Tall. So silly. Y'all are silly. Y'all are cute, clamorous, and haphazardous. Y'all just be saying shit, bro. And you know what's crazy is there's doctorates and rabbis and masons and all kind of cool degrees based on text that obviously none of you faggots can read. Because y'all keep skipping all over the black descriptions of all the people you're studying. And then when I go, all right, well, all this should take place in Egypt, in American Egypt, how do you discover your homeland? You discover where your grandmother was? How do you forget? If you were the kings and shit over there for hundreds of years building boats, how did you forget how you got over there? That's what y'all story is. Your story is that y'all forgot y'all came from here. Y'all forgot this place existed. You forgot your God came from here. You forgot everything. And then you showed up and we're working for you? The people who've been here for 2,000 years in a row? It's a weird fucking story, bro. I don't know a Jew with God's feather. I don't know a Native American with God's feather. And God's feather is your emoji for feathers. That's how tapped into Sanskrit Steve Jobs was. Remember? He went to India on an acid trip. Came back with fonts. Sanskrita. And what's his feather? Jesus. You don't know Steve Jobs' real name. They'll tell you the whole fucking story. It's crazy that only the white people change their names. The gods of Egypt. Y'all Jews? From America? Egypt? America? Hakupta? Egypt? For real? Who's this Jewish? This Larry Finks and all these white people. Y'all change your names. Steve Jobs changed his name. Y'all white people change your names all the time. Your name makes you a Jew? That's what it takes? In English, in King James English, my grandfather's language. That's what makes y'all Jews, because y'all put Steen and Berg on shit. Oh, y'all the masters of prefix, suffixes, and fucking adjectives, ain't you? Well, without kidnapping this bird, let me know when he pulls up. Let me know when God pulls up on you. Because all I asked God was who I was. And this was like this. And you know the craziest thing about God? His little feathers all have crescent moons on it. On Muhammad. Is this, and they have smaller feathers, and there's little crescent moons all decorated through it. That's how you know it's a god. Haru Salam, crescent moon, and star. Get it, Venus? Get it, South Carolina? Get it? I got this in North Carolina. Get it? You gotta get it.
This is your emoji for feathers. This is Chief Khan's feather. The American kestrel falcon has crescent moon indentions. So that's Jews, Israelites, in the Quran, nigga. And the Quran prophets are Israelites. Same color, same people. Hence, same bird, same feathers. That's Jesus. Undisputed. Haru Khan, Egypt. That's the son of who? Isis? And Osiris, right? So far, so good? Washington, D.C. is Osiris Phallus Monument, correct? And then Isis is Venus, correct? And then the Bible opens up with what story? The genes of Isis. And it leads you to the New Testament where you get to Jesus. Isa, Isis. How you doing? Essex, Isis. How you doing? Isis, Isa. His like mother, like son. Now go to our paintings and pictures. Isis and Jesus. Can you fucking imagine? You got a whole fucking book about the goddamn Da Vinci codes. How about you start with what the book's about? Y'all skipping through gematria and turning pages and shit? John 3:6s? No. The God of that book is this. This is from here. How do we have a book from over there about a God from right here? If you didn't discover here until after you wrote that book about the God from over here, 2,000 years before you discovered here. How? Any of my scholars out there, any of my Christians or devout followers of something serious, how is this Heru in America? If all of that is over there, if they never been here, when did they get this? I know falcons can migrate and cool shit like that. Miss me with the bullshit. I have the picture of Heru with this feather in his head. And on the back of his neck is an anteater. Where are anteaters from? The devourer is an anteater. When he was tempted on the mountain, and it says, "Get thee behind me, Satan," that's an Egyptian painting. It's Heru, the American falcon, with an anteater on his back. Where's the anteaters from? You got anteaters in Egypt? You got anteaters in Palestine? Where anteaters from, y'all? Where anteaters from, y'all? This is your God's feather, and the Satan on his back, "Get thee behind me, Satan's an anteater." Where's that from? South America. Abu Bakari. He's on a llama. Where are those from? South America. Mama Inga, Peru, of the Jerusalem. Angel, Israel. Where's that at? South America. So if the whole world religions and gods come from South America, who are you people? If you've never been to South America until the 1800s. Unless you're Moors and Indians. Which one are you? My dear white people and your light-skinned associates. Why y'all jocking Egypt and you don't know you're in Egypt? You know who knows you're in Egypt, though? This is the evilest thing about the whole world. Your UCC codes, your CUSIC number on our Egyptian birth certificates. Think of Egypt. Oh, someone in your government knows. I wonder if they're part of a Masonic lodge. America, the land of the eagle, is Egypt. The Egypt you read about. It's America. It's us. What are they talking about? I don't want to hear from them until this feather drops right in front of them, boy. Stop buying shit online and messing with putting them birds in captivity, too. I know you have a problem putting Egyptian shit into captivity. 3 in the chat. Anteater, tier 10, Tartaria. Vowels is EU. On EU, Europa. On Bim Bay, you Jonathan L3, PT Cruising 3. Hurricane L, Hurricane, Yerushalayim. Lee the Sage, how you doing, man? 92 in the building. Got mad people in here. Shout out to the Hella Keller of Trash Talk. You still in there, Hella Keller of Israel? How the hell you end up in Israel, bro? If you're a descendant of Egyptians. Brother. Man, we watched Stargate and all that shit, and look at Raw. I was like, Benjamin Netanyahu. Yo, this game is cold, boy. Good thing they're stupid, though. Good thing they're stupid, because if we had a week to figure it out, if we had a week for someone to take God and the Bible serious, oh man, we would have never figured out the obvious signs. They're all over the pyramids, ass niggas. It's in $100,000 book, so it's not real. What ass niggas? Yo, they play too fucking much, man, with God. Y'all playing in God's face, not ours. Maybe that's why God started showing up last year. So Gabriel and God showed up on me last year. I almost forgot that part. They both showed up. As soon as the feather dropped, Gabriel showed up. Wow. Wow, I'm in trouble. Tag, you're it. Nah, I'm good on that one, God. Don't tag me in. I might start telling the truth out here. You know nobody like that shit. Jehovah did that. So hopefully you ain't got to go through that. Come on now. Come on now. Yahweh, Yahweh. Jehovah. Yeah, there's no J in Hebrew. Fix it all. Fix it all. Yahweh, Yahweh. All right, keep going. Y-E-A-O-U-I. Holy vowels. Same story. His name is holy, and your vowels are holy. There it is. Oh my God, I need to be a rabbi and get inducted and all this extra shit to do the common obvious. Speak King James English? King James English for 800, please. Ding, 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 ding. Daily double. My Negro baby can read. Part 3. All right. That's crazy, man. We in a crazy timeline, boy. The Mandela effect's getting wilder too, boy. They done fucked up our timeline again. It's like every time we start doing some shit, the timeline go auto edit. Otto and Edith, Adam and Eve, Abraham and Sarah. We're doing the Mandela effect, not certain. That's scary though. When you realize how quantum this reality really is, that everything could change at once. I think they know that. I think they're afraid of that. What did the angel say? They destroyed the Tower of Babel in the translation. Because if man works together, they could reach heaven. So we need to knock that tower down, or portal, or gateway, or whatever it was. And then that accounted for the scrambled dialects and languages. And the scrambled dialects and languages is so that you cannot communicate the same ideas to rebuild whatever it was you're building together. So what it did was it delayed us. And then it skips that story and keeps going. You end up finding about that when you study Nimrod, Egyptian. So Nimrod and his mother, Tower of Babel, Babylonia. Another woman name, I noticed something. Babylon, Nimrod, Egyptian, Bible. America. It just... So the Tower of Babel was here? They found Indians with different dialects here?
And then the King James English tribe of a unified language came here. And now they all talk together, again, as Indians. Am I not my brother's keeper? John Smith, 13. Our language unified the tribes one more time, in case anyone's missing what just happened. From the Old Testament to right now, did or did not our ancestors bring Babylon back together again? We now have a unified angel language. Same story. You think the tower could have been an antenna? It could have been. It could have been. But I'm saying I see shape-shifting UFO manta rays, so it could, what I'm saying, what it could have been, like if we're trying to follow the way that white people tell us, we're like, men, caves, rocks, little statues. No. We're not from this planet for the last time. So we started with far more advanced technology, and what we have now is a cheap, recycled version of it from whatever they were digging up and trying to put back together. For whatever reason, our tribes found it wise to keep it the way it was, because we were not trying to fix advancement. We were trying to fix genetics, years and years of captivity. So we would have gotten back on path inevitably because we're with God anyway. Not a religion or a book woke me up, actually. It was him or her or them or they or Allah or him, whoever it was, whoever is assigned to my case, whoever my angelic social worker is. That's how I got it. Because I asked. Seek and ye shall find. I could have sworn that was one of our bars right there. Seek, and ye shall find. That's a law. If you build it, they will come. Same story. That's a Mandela effect too. They don't say that no more. But you know what I'm saying? Field of dreams. But yeah, this ain't no field of dreams. This ain't no field of American dreams either, boy. We are wide awake. We them badass kids that never went to sleep. Mr. Now says, I went to school and now I'm retarded and godless. Ready to get into the world and work now. Sadly, that's exactly what Rockefeller and Gates did. They made us ignorant and godless. And that's probably why we have so many coons and jigaboos depending on white daddy. They have no reference point no more. Then we put the reference point back, they get mad. Like, oh shit, I gotta be accountable? You're worrying about being accountable? What the fuck? How the fuck have you been living your life without these values, dickhead? Like, what's so contradiction about 10 Commandments in your normal life without them? That's what I really want to know what people's problem is. It's not like God's covenant requires you to actually try. You're trying not to be a murderer, a piece of shit individual, a liar, a backstabber, a conniver, and a fucking bitch-ass nigga practicing witchcraft and inferior gods? If that ain't you, then what's the problem? It'll never make sense to me, so hopefully I can make it make sense to others, though. It's like, that ain't what it is. That's not where the contention should be in that Bible book. There's a lot of contentious points in there. The commandments and being an Israelite is not the one. Given the exchange rate, God gets nothing out of it. That's why they call it spiritual. Hold on. What's that word? There's a word they use in our Bible. Gift. Not a spiritual exchange, not a spiritual barter, not a spiritual reward, a spiritual gift. Meaning it had nothing to do with you per se. I know, I'm cooking. Inalienable birthright, by the way. Unalienable birthright, hereditamous, heritage, nativity. You can't take that away from us. Just like you couldn't take this red skin color away from me. No Michael Jackson, so. Yeah, we don't know what those technologies were in that Bible, boy. Because we want to have a word model in English for it anyway. We didn't do that in English. There was no Tower of Babel. There was no English. There's no Hebrew either when that took place. The first people were giants. You see any giants around here? That flood must have happened then. Because you sure as hell can find their bones buried everywhere. And you know what's crazy? When white people found the most giant bones? During Reconstruction. Meaning you weren't here for 400 years prior, if you just got around to it. Thanks for coming to my TED Talk. Stop fucking lying to us. Yeah, those giant burial mounds are for giants. They're burial mounds, not pyramids. We made pyramids though. Too bad you destroyed them in Mexico. You know, Egypt. Come on now, go to Grand Canyon land. Go to the Grand Canyon. Grand Khan. Genghis Khan. Go there. What's at the bottom of the Grand Canyon, guys? Egyptian artifacts, right? And can you imagine Egyptian artifacts in the Valley of Kings? Can you fucking imagine? And Grand Khan. All right now. Jesus left America, pulled up a Tartary, stomped the yard, brought his homies back to America, and here we are. That is the story. The end. Everything else in between is a gory detail. He said, am I my brother's keeper? He said, now I'm my brother's keeper, but I'm all 10 of their keeper. That boy didn't miss, man. That boy didn't miss. That boy, I mean, we're here right now because that's what the story said, and I'm here right now because the story did. Maybe all the other details and translations may not land exactly how we can imagine them, but that wasn't the point of that story, now was it? It was about, for God so loved the world that he gave the world to his only begotten son, Isa. And because white people lean in the patriarchy, I can almost guarantee that the God in that Bible, Allah, is actually a woman. For God so loved the world that she created after she left heaven, Lucifer, that she gave it to her only begotten son, Heru. Isis gave it to Heru. Mama Inga gave it to Carlos. You see a theme emerging, meaning our giant grandmother gave the land to her little grandson. And the story just loops and loops and loops and loops, and that's what happened. That's exactly what happened. To God be the glory. We got it. Oh shit. Don't fall. Let's check it out. You got it. Some people have to see it. They love the 3 a.m. screen sharing because they can see the pictures. I'm gonna show you the pictures of everything I just said. I'm working on my elephant memory, that's all. Since we got computers and internet and we don't remember phone numbers no more, I figure I just try to remember heritage.
Come on, man.
Heritage.
Never seen nobody that young to be so brilliant. Yeah, come on.
Where are the pictures? Photos. It's not on this drive. That'd be convenient. But I got something on this drive. Don't play with me. Morsh. I got something. Let's go through these. This is a different collection from my old computer. So white folks can start doing their sciences. Hold on. Let me get a chair. Nutty buddy.
Blue to stack on some plugins.
You know anything about the heat of, did they say we're going to get some of these day or night?
Let's see. Let's make sure my arm doesn't start going numb. There goes the books. If you go on Amazon, if you want to give them to your kids, very easy reads. North American Indians. Have you noticed something about them? It's right there. There goes my grandmother, literally, at the top of that pyramid. You see those land masses and those yellows, those greens and reds? Those are kingdom territories, not states. But there's 500 nations, families. Hold on, let me make sure I can find the right things. Give me this. There it is. Austria-Hungary, Montenegro. Yes. What is that definition of? I have no way of enlarging it. There you go. That's my favorite. Purple. There goes. See all the kingdoms? One up there, one up there. Whatever that is. Looks like a UFO, actually. If you know anything about math and science, since these are emperors and a giant in Etruscan blue with the trade crown hat from Otto I, holding the golden orb and the scepter with the fleur de lis on it. He's an Israelite. See how easy it is to deduce? Another kingdom there, another kingdom there, another kingdom there. We ain't even got the full picture of all the kingdoms he has. And you call him Mansa Musa, but he's not Mansa Musa, that's Montezuma. But that's Judah, connected beard. That is not the loadout of a Nigerian. No disrespect, but that's not it. On Salam Alaikum, on Israelite. On Salam Alaikum, on Israelite. Same story. Moors. Are you a Moor or MER? Amora, it means love. You're made out of love. For God so loved the world, idiot. That's a wishbone, right? All right, Great Pyramid. Pyramid builders. Pyramids, love, and Moors. Synonyms. Holy Trinity. Holy Trinity of love. Father, son, wife. Or father, mother, baby. It's easy. Because it's algebra. Since 1,000 years ago. That's my bandana. Since 1,000 years ago. European. The difference is the Mansa Musa side. The blue with the stars in it. Royals. United Kingdom. That's all the stars are. 13 angels. Then the red and white. Israelites. Hi. More is the European Aboriginal. So little. Aboriginal, Indigenous, European. How you doing? European means blacks. Not the same as the African blackamoor. So in Europe, there's two types of black people. Israelites and Africans. And there's Negrito, little African, More, little European. Word of Muhammad. Big head scientist. Jacob, Israel. And America, though. Same thing. See the feathers? Red, yellow, green. All right, Mexico, what's going on? Mexican, is that your granddaddy with that hair texture and this skin color? All right, now. What is a N-word? It's a noun and an adjective because white people love adding values to us. It is a dark-skinned person of any origin, but in the U.S., it was usually a reference to American Indians. It was usually offensive. So the offensive nigger word, they only called American Indians that. So are American Indians dark-skinned people or light-skinned Navajo people? This looks like Greek-style statues, by the way. So what are we talking about? So all these statues about niggers? All right, stand on it. This is built by giants. This is a 5-point star without its wings. I wonder who did it. You can tell by the windows and the doorways. Those are not little niggas. All right now. All right now, don't tell me y'all came to America to build these, but you're gonna feed yourself potatoes. Don't lie to us now. Don't you start lying that Jesus been white, but he in the land of the Caucasus Mountains, he's black. You see those recessive genes fighting for their life. You see those recessive genes fighting for their life. Don't play with us. They know what we about. Oh, the Catholic Church that sent all you redheads and white people here. That's crazy. Y'all came from a place, from a Catholic church, and you had this big black queen up there the whole time, and that seashell from Solomon from America, and the bear Michael the whole time. Why are you leaving keys up on the table? Because you wanted to. You see this little white guy there. You see this. Come on now. Let's be reasonable. I'm reasonable. Explain that. The Roman Catholics are worshiping an African? I don't think that's what that is, red and yellow España, but we'll go with it. So now we know España is not white people. And the bear is Michael. Oh my God. How did she get there? No, they didn't let an African slave mix with an Asian and come out darker than all of them. Wait, she's older. Never mind. The oldest person in this picture is blacker than us. You don't see the difference? What are we talking about? McGraw-Hill, yo, Jewish people. How come y'all don't talk about who these empresses are? Real quick. Run that back for me. Run that back. Her decorations, her earrings, everything. No, she's not a servant if she's teaching this girl how to use chopsticks. America. Vikings. You notice something? You know something about the Vikings? Those are Viking boats, by the way. Don't fucking play with me. You see that giant and those two little black people behind them? A land of giants. Chilling, meditating, building houses. Look at the one dressed in all white, Israel. And there goes the snake. I thought that was in y'all Bible. Why is this in America then? Right? They got boats in America on this cave painting older than you discovering America. Like, I want to do the science on this one. Where do these giants come from? Because this is painted before you got here. You see the texture. Don't play with us. Anyway, so it's clear that black people have always been in America. And it's clear that black people weren't capping when they said we live with giants. All right now. And that's just this territory. That's not all of America. That's just where it's painting is taking place. Probably somewhere in South America, Mexico. Holy Roman Empire. That is my family crest. Quite literally. But when the Africans show up, they cut off one of their heads. Ah, sad story. My grandparents. There she is. The one that's on top of the America's book. There was the gingers. You know, those are recessive genes. Cool story. Those are not. Those are not. See the fringes? The gold? See Solomon's staff? Those are Israelites. Kings and shit. But this one right there is my daddy. 16 generations back. From him to me. Connected beard and everything. From him to me. On my mama's side. And my daddy's side, technically. They're all the same grandparents when you go up. But yeah, that's Israel. Peru and Israel. These are Israelites. That's Israelite attire. Staff of Solomon. Jesus Christ cross. Holy Roman Emperor degrees. He's the Holy Roman Emperor. That's what they wear. So a black guy is the Holy Roman Emperor in America. In America. That's the woman.
the land. She's lit, just like Mary is, with a cross. This is South America, what they call North America. Virgin, Mary, and Jew colonies. Look what happens. His son is black, and they try to start racist for it. Don't play with us. They're copper colored. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't do that. Don't try to lighten it up. They're copper colored. Ah, look at you try to play. Either way, they're copper colored, and they have Indian hair because they're Indians. Get it? You take him with Spain. You get black with black. You get black. All right. So the Holy Roman Empire. He's the Holy Roman Emperor. This is America. So that's Israel. Israel, Holy Roman Empire. Israel, Holy Roman Empire. This is America. I'm still here. What white people? What y'all got going on, bro? Oh. Egyptian priests. All right, Israelites. Horus. Oh, they talking about America. Baboons. Interesting. But in Greek, we called them cynocephalus. Oh, we named them something Venus. Ooh. You already know where this. Oh, that's the one I was talking about. They're saying that these guys that are claiming to be us are these people. Moors, Orientalis, Moor, Ahmadian, Niger, Sub-Saharan African. Whoa, what is that? And then Hamitan. I guess these are your Arabians and all of them over on the Ethiopian side. So East Africa, West Africa, America, and whatever this is, makes a white person? Yo, you're a German eugenicist. Really tried us on that one. But no, I don't claim that. There's no way you can mix 3 different black people and get a white boy. Unless that alien came down here fucking with our genetics. They're saying they're a bastardization of these 4 races, and one of them are Anunnaki. I assure you they're not. That's me. That's my tribe. That's not his tribe. That's my tribe. So try it again, nigga. They almost had us. They almost had us in the first one. I don't see no white people in the making of this white guy. They need to cut it the fuck out. They did it again, though. They ain't the only one. I found all the variations of it. They're saying he's African, Hamitan, Orientalis, Hebrew Israelites with dreads and fucking fully connected beards, by the way, Moors. So the Oriental Moors are from the Bible. Those are Jews and Israelites, not Africans. They have a word for those. We are the ones in America, genius. Anyway, and then they slid Russia in there, I think. Okay, we getting close. We getting closer. We ain't got dead hair. We don't have those features. Maybe they do. I doubt it. But I know we don't. You can't do that with their hair. Don't fucking play with us. And there it is on his cheek. You Germans, you're up to some shit, huh? Why y'all moving sphinxes and changing faces for? But them full lips tell you it's not white people. And that's not in America, so I don't know what the fuck they're doing. Masons. The term Moorish has been applied here to describe Montezuma's headdress. Well, I got an annexation of Texas. No surprises there. And what year was that? In 1621. Oh, so when we first got here, 1611, the word Indian was substituted for Moorish. Oh, so when you start calling us Indians, we were originally called Moorish people. Crazy, because 1611, I, the Moorish person, had King James English in these colonies. So Indians and Moors are the same, just like Montezuma, Mansa Musa is a Moor or an Indian. They're all Israelites. They're all Moors. The Moorish means they're the Oriental Moors, Afro-Asiatic. Afro-Asiatic. Montezuma, Afro-Asiatic. Mount Zion, Israel. I already showed you Mama Inga. And that was 50 years before that. Mexican life is Moorish origin. Afro-Asiatics. Mexicans, y'all Afro-Asiatics. Work on it. Work on that one. Moor is one of the races. Moor is a race. Can you imagine? Black isn't. Black is an adjective. That's a noun. You see it's capitalized? Moor is one of the races defined by the United States Commission of Immigration Dictionary of Races and People. As follows. A historical term, rather than an ethnographical term,
applied to very different peoples, so multiple tribes like the 12 tribes of Israel, Northwestern Africa, Mauritania, but Mauritania started in America. They tried it though. In Roman history, Holy Roman Empire, that's who came here. It's applied to inhabitants of Mauritania, Morocco and Algeria. Well, America is the Great West, Al-Morocc, and who were in part Phoenician colonists. Oh, when the Venus, Phoenician, Cherokee, Chaldean people colonized, meaning the Romans are the Phoenicians with boats. Same story. In Spanish history, Moors. In Moorish history, actually, there's no other version of Spanish. In Moriscos, mixed, were mainly Berbers rather than commonly supposed Arabs. So I can correct that. The Berbers are the Arabian Moors, not the Arabian Moors after their bullshit with the Alawites. The Moors, in a stricter ethnological sense, are the mixed Traza and other tribes on the western coast from Morocco to Senegal. Well, all of Africa and all of America then. Mainly of nomadic habits, tents. They are mixed Berber, okay, so Israelites, Arab, which are black, and black, often African, as of now, the United States. People who speak Arabic, there we go, Semitic, Afro-Asiatic, and African. So the Arabian people is Americans mixed with Africans. How you doing? Vedas, Sanskrita, oh, Dravidian on King David, ooh, South Asia, India, oh, Ostafrican, just like all the New Zealanders and Australians, Ethiopian, Moors, come on now. And the Dark Hamites. So they're trying to say black people are Moors. How you doing, black people? You're Moor, get it? The definition in the United States, by the way, this is their definition. In the United States, Moor accounts for all the black people in the United States. And they're arguing about MERS. Fucking idiots. There were the Jews. What is that? Vespucius? Vespian. You don't have enough Vespian guys. Oh, others find hither from Asia, Tartaria, when wherever that is, destroyed Jerusalem. Oh, so that's why we left. It made New Jerusalem in America. Because when we're in Tartaria, whoever that clan is destroyed Jerusalem. Or from Wicca, or Judea, 'twas wasted by the Romans. So we had beef with the regular Romans, obviously, niggas. And then we had beef with whoever the fuck that is. So hence why we're in America in our Holy Land instead. 1342, nigga. So we left Italy and came to America. That's how long. If we had to leave these places then, we've been in America ever since. And then 1462. This is before Christopher Columbus. So the Jews are in America. Hi, how you doing? That's who I am. Numerous tribes. Several wealthy and numerous tribes. But they have no dominion, meaning nothing over there. But this is where they're wrong. Our dominion's been in America the whole time. They didn't know America existed. Get it? We did. England, there it is. We've been in England since at least 1422. How you doing, Jews? So don't stop playing. And they're writing this after it happened. They're writing it by research. They weren't there. I get it though. They tried to land it and they still twisted their ankles. Tartarian, Newark, New Jersey. On Big Ben Bay Clock. Stop fucking playing with us, boy. Edison didn't put these lights in California. Neither did Tesla, my nigga. Little Rome right there. Look at this shit. They tore that down. They always tear down. See how like those apartment buildings you move into? They'll chop this off. Look at this shit. And up here, that's where you park your Zeppelin. So this is German. I'm sorry. Holy Roman Empire. Holy Roman Empire. Park Zeppelins up there. That's an elevator. How you doing? This is before the Wright brothers. Wright brothers did not live in East Orange, Newark, New Jersey, by the way. No white person did. Stop fucking playing with us. Stop fucking playing with us. Stop fucking playing with us. That's electricity and energy. That's a lighthouse for a Zeppelin to park, not a boat in the ocean, nigga. Come on, Tartaria. Come on, apartment buildings where all the black people live in the Jew ghettos, because ghetto comes from Jew, don't it? And they say we live in the ghetto because we're Jews, huh? All right, well, next to our ghetto is this Holy Roman Empire building next to a king or somebody who has a fucking flight already. And this is in the 1800s. You see all the light? Where's Batman at? Anyway, you park your Zepp up there. Free energy. White people did not create free energy. White people didn't build these buildings. So you tell me an African slave built this in the north to park Zeppelins that are German for white people that came from Christianity? Shut the fuck up. Anyway, Mohammedans. Solomon render. Afro-Asiatic, bow and arrow, Levi breastplate, braids and cornrows, captain of a ship, he's a fighter, mojo bag, and some other shit. All right now. I can't read none of that shit, but I see a Zell in there. Isa. There it is. Israelite. How you doing? That look like white people? That look like Benjamin Netanyahu's granddaddy? All right then. Yeah. Tell them stop fucking playing. There goes the articles of Tripoli that white people don't remember. As the government of the United States Service Corporation of America is not in any sense founded on the Christian religion. So Christians didn't come here, did they, to find the United States? So what's that story about white people in churches? In black churches? What the fuck are y'all talking about? Tripoli is Mohammedan, by the way. And that's in 1797, after the founding of the United States, that y'all still know who Moors are. And is in itself no character of enmity against the laws, religion, or tranquility of Muslims. Why are the United States worrying about Muslims and Moors if there's no Muslims and Moors in America? Y'all not Christians, and y'all ain't got no beef with Muslims. So y'all not on the Inquisition and the dumb diverses inter-caetera. So United States was formed by non-inter-caetera, non-dumb diverses, non-enemies of the Mohammedans. What changed? Oh yeah, Civil War and white people. Thank you. Holla. Those are the treaties that are still active on your Constitution, by the way. That's the Philippines. You know, say the Filipinos came from West Africa? All right. I just saw the definition for Moors, by the way. It includes them. Like these guys. Oh, check her out. She look just like my sister. I don't know how that happened, but she still got her top lip. Me. Our cousins, I guess. But she's covered all the way up. This is the most curious part about the story. What is all of this about? Why is she... You understand like how thick that seems to be? Like why is she but her hair is out. So she's the slave? If that's the dynamics you want to play with us? How could she be? She's the one with jewelry and decorations and ornaments. She's covering her whole body. And I bet you her hair is like hers. That's a passing Asian. I get it. Y'all slick. I'm oil. Boxers Rebellion. Afro-Asiatics. Bruce Lee and them grandfathers and uncles. Wing chin ass niggas. They come from them. And these are black people. You see the hair texture? You see the roots? You see the roots are there? You see the cheekbones, Americans? And if you look in the back at the older people, you'll see they get a little bit more blacker in features. And you see the white boys standing right there with the guns because they're pussy and they can't fight, right? Yeah, same story. First Continental Congress after the United States in New Orleans or some bullshit like that. Mulattoes, Indian hybrids, but you see they all have fully connected beards if you let it. Which tells you they're not West African descendants from 20 years prior on a slave ship. Cut it shit out. There was the real map. I find it more powerful argument used by those who bring the savages from Tartary in America, because I do not all doubt from my judgment of the geography that America joins Asia. Absolutely. But the expedition of Hakadah, King John Smith, my grandfather, so he knows my grandfather came here, the son of Conquista, so my grandfather John Hakadah, that some Christian knows about, because if they're using the word savage, they're saying they're non-Christians. So he knows my grandfather came to America as the son of Genghis Khan, first king of the Tartars. So King John, Sir Knight Immigrant, is Hakadah Khan, who came to America with his Tartars, Israelites. Is that older or younger than the United States? I'll help you out. They had the right timeline. White people today added 200 or 300 years. This should be 1540. King John, Carlos V and them, brothers. Tartary, Hakata, Tartar, America, at least since 1240, but he wasn't here a minute prior, so he doesn't really know. We've been here the whole time. But they, from Tartaria, came back to the Americas, the 10 tribes, in 1240. How you doing? This is older than the United States. They have the references. They're not just saying shit. They know the Tartarians came to America for the last 800 years. And we got white people doing videos now talking about mud flood Tartaria, mud flood yeah, my grandfather, bitch. The famous Tartarian. So it's worldwide known. Everybody going crazy over there. St. Jerome, niggas, Persians, Africans, Romans, Indians, India, Eastern nations, all Moors, all different races and mixes. But then lastly, with the Saracens, who all the Christians are against in your own Intercatera. Until the famous Tartarian expedition under Zengis Cham, this whole country swam in the blood of its natives. Therefore, before its period, the Greco wars and the conquest of Alexander connected. It looks like Tartaria in fucking Boston and Philadelphia. Yeah, nigga. They all tried us. Romans came here. Indians from India came here. The Moors came here. And my grandfather. Hi, how you doing? That's why we're here. And we're kings and shit. Kings of witchcraft. In every language, my grandfather shows up. So he's a real character. You call him Jesus. The fuck? He's in this document too. He everywhere, shorty. Their parents are not, though. I've noticed something. There was the Cherokees. Chilique. That's Arabic. So we got white, blonde hair, blue-eyed Cherokees who are Arabic? Nigga, please. Anyway, on my grandma and them. Pre-Columbian times. Pre-World Fair is what they're saying. Pre-Civil War. The traditions of Nuremberg, Germany, as a great city, Washington, D.C. That's the Nuremberg UFOs. New England, Nuremberg is here. Like I fucking said, that's Washington, D.C., genius. We made it before the United States got here. Hence. Eastern Asians, Tartarians, Khans, Israelites, 10 tribes. On the east coast of America, in Washington, D.C., by at least 1543. Older than every story in the United States. Hello, black people. Hello, black people. Hello. Oh, those are my grandparents. Black people. Look at them niggas' hairs, boy. Stop fucking playing with me. You see the Asiatic slanted eyes. In both of them. That's not West African eyes or cheekbones. Just to prove a redundant point about Tartarians. When rocks cry out, same story. There we go. Bunch of Moors. These are the boys you saw on Mama English chart. That's their dress at least. These are all black people. Those are black dudes. If you can't tell that, you do see a blue dress. I could tell them black and white, bro. I know what nigga features are. You just look at their cheekbones, the big ass hairline, then. There's no white people settling. Well, if you call them black people niggers, you're saying they're Indians. Right? 3 in the chat if you didn't know this, where that word comes from. If you've never seen that before, since 1850, you know, the Civil War. They didn't start calling us that until after the Civil War. So they must be salty that we won. You know, the Indians. It's right there. Don't worry about it. Don't you worry about it. Solomon. So, Jewish people, that's your granddad? With the Mayan calendar behind him? Your granddad with the American seashells, Selly sold seashells at the seashore, with all this fringe in Israelite culture, with the staff with the lion, Judah, Solomon, Judah, that Mama Inga had, that she gave this to Carlos V in your time period. So this is before your time period. Star David. This is Solomon with a turban on. Why do y'all have that little yarmulke thing on your bald spot, Ben? If this is who Judah is, on Jesus, this is Jesus's grandfather. How could he ever be a white guy with a fully connected beard, a turban, Judah staff, and all of this drip as an emperor? Hello? Talk to me. You know, it's not just made up, just drawing a random black guy. We talking about the culture and habit and traditions in this bitch too. This is consistent in everyone's drawings of Jews and Israelites in the time period. Let alone that Mayan calendar behind his back. And that's the same Mayan calendar that who has on his back. And that's why I won't bust a fucking bubble, because this thing behind him is the same thing that Genghis Khan has. My grandfather in real life. Article 13, Muhammad in America. Muhammad in America. And that's why the annexation of Texas is the way that it is as of 1868. This is in the late 1700s. They're saying, hey, we're not going to start no trouble with you guys. So when the annexation of Texas comes and that guy is reading that, he's like, yo, we already have peace with them, but if we cross the borders, it's going to be all-out war. Hence, it's a Mohammedan nation before you get the United States. Iroquois-framed city, Muhammad. Here's a copy of our United States Constitution. Hello? So who's here? White people, y'all Mohammedans? Cool fucking story, bitch. Your devil is a damn liar. What's some more? Can be mixed race. It could be anybody black, but we know it's Afro-Asiatic. Mohammedans, Moors, Saracens, and that's who Christians are against. So black Christians, you're against yourself, and that's why your life and your community suck. You're under a spell. Swarthy, that's not white people. Mohammedan religion. In Spanish, Moors, Andalusia. In America, hi. Arabs are synonymous with black Spanish people. Weird, Dubai. Shut the fuck up. Y'all can't read you over there either, it seems. But I saw how you treated your women just 50 years ago. Oh, a Moorish wedding with Beyonce, Bey, and Jay-Z, Carter, a Jew. He's blindfolded, she's not. So who's the royal? Shut your ass up, Queen Bey. A Moor descendant. Shut up. Jamaica was one of the final destinations of many of these Moorish Afro-Asiatic captives who were referred to as Negro slaves from Spain. So the Jews and the crypto Jews that they sent to the Caribbean are my family members who stayed behind. And you call it Yarmulke because they're Jews. Moorish, Afro-Asiatic. Jews are Afro-Asiatic. Semites, Saracens, all the same words. But that Negro slave means they robbed you of your nationality. You're in bondage. Islamic heritage of Jamaica, Moors. From Andalusia. After the 1500s. Cut it out. Cut it the fuck out. Indians are Moors. This is in Cindy. I think it's like a version of Hanneman. But that's where that Khazarian nose comes from. And that's fine. If you're the little black people grandkids, you're not related to us because we're not the little black people. But that nigga has some drip though. Very similar. You would think he was Solomon or something connected to Israel, but he's too small. He's a miniature version. Similar degrees though, until you get to that nose. That shit old. There's one in Baltimore too, in the middle of the water. It's an island. Of course, white people took the liberty of destroying it, as they tend to do. You said, with the real plate, not an apron like the Masons. Come on now. Egypt over there, Central America over here. Can you fucking imagine? Shout out to Solomon, Aristotle. You know the vibes. Israelites. With the thing on his back. Solomon. Or David even. Classical Arabic about Jews. Goofy as hell. Stupid as hell. Tartary. Oh. Ooh. Ah, we have dragons, don't we, Israelites? Bel the dragon. Ooh, there's no dragons, there's dinosaurs, though. No, there's dragons. And now, beep, beep. That's the girl, that's the boy. It's an empire, though. Empire of giant niggas. Owl feathers, nigga. Dragons, Naga niggas. Niggas with feathers. How you doing? From America. Afro-Asiatic. There you go. We all over the place. So Chinese people, Indian people, Persian people. We everywhere. But the royals, Genghis Khan. These are Christians. Cretans, retards. Same story. There it is again. Many-faced God. And this, I guess it is a monkey or a baboon hybrid. There was my granddad, Sidi Muhammad, Emperor of the Moon, on a donkey, Jesus. If he's on a donkey, Paul, if he's on a donkey, Jesus, he's an Israelite. Only problem is he's an emperor. He's the emperor of Jerusalem. He's a black Afro-Asiatic. You see it? Shang Tsung them. Look at his afro. Now you see white people. Emperor on a donkey. White people. Jesus on a donkey. White people. Jesus on his donkey as an emperor, the King of Kings in the New Testament. Nuremberg battle, DC, I already showed you that. That's the time period that I showed you, and that's what happened. Now look at Richmond, and look at the buried thing under the state capitol. High cigar-shaped UFOs, high shape-shifting craft. This one caused all of them to fall, and then it disappeared. White means nobles. I guess they're trying to say they're from noble families, but no, you're not, bitch. There goes the dragon in America's book. They're real. Squid. Flying sea creatures were a real thing. I guess white people ate them all. Lagui. Delaware Indians call creatures like Bigfoot Al Lagui. So Delaware Indians using alchemy, alchemists, Al Maghreb, Al Morocco, Mohammedan, Moorish, Delaware Indians, Moors, MERS. Shut up. Allegheny River is Germany, stupid. Holy Roman Empire. Hi. Get it? Probably not. Maratha, California. Granada, California. So if Granada's the red house, I'm in the red house right now. You call it Nevada. Nevada, formerly Granada, you know, where the Moors lost Spain. Interesting. Spanish California, San Diego, Granada. That means our empire was here the whole time, faggots. Up until 1868, right? Dastardly. We're the giants, not the little people. This is our story. That's why I'm here in the fall of Granada, during the rise of the Granada, my ancient Moorish emperor land off the coast of California. Hello, Moors. That's why I'm here now, nigga. It's ours. I'm San Diego. Same story. Hi, Grandma. Hi, Grandpa. I'll figure it out eventually. I'm close. Slave Coast, Ouida Coast, Kingdom of Judah. So the slaves are Jews from West Africa? Well, cool. If they're Jews from West Africa, they're not Africans. Thank you, coming to my fucking TED Talk, bitch. Why you keep putting Jews in slavery? Map of Ethiopia and its jurisdictions and regions. All right. No problem with me. You don't hear nothing from me. A bunch of samurais at Giza. Black samurais that don't exist, but Lupe Fiasco love them.
Well, there's one African slave. He was the first samurai.
Shut the fuck up. This all samurais, and they're all black. And they're in fucking Egypt. The fuck y'all got going on, bitch? 1864, leading to the Civil War. Ninjas, all black. Montezuma in prison. Mansa Musa imprisoned. He's a giant. Etruscan blue. So he's betrayed. Mount Zion, Israelites in Mexico were betrayed. Hi, white people and Negro associates. And that's the same thing you see on the Mansa Musa painting. They betrayed the King of Kings. Can you fucking imagine? These fucking niggas. There's no white people. Tall Portuguese Moors, size of elephants. Remember I told you Europe was ruled by the royals and the royals are giant descendants? I'm literally speaking 1400s. Literally speaking. Literally speaking. Literally speaking. Belize. Big ass lip. Giant head. White people, y'all didn't build that. That's a weird story for you. Navajo Indians, that's a weird story for you, nigga. That's this shit older than your language, bitch. Weird fucking story. Y'all keep coming after us, but you're not us when you're after us. But I'm still here. Weird fucking story, bitch. Weird fucking story, Holy Roman Empire of Jews. Weird fucking story, bitch. Look how long the hair is. You think that's a West African with that much hair? Alrighty, I guess. But who are the royals besides Jews? Gourd. Cut it out. Cut it out. King Kamehameha. They gave him the Spanish Moor colors, gave him copper and gold. Yamaha, like Japan.